ingredients. Look it up.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where supplies start at just 25 cents?
Staples has the latest laptops with up to 40% savings.
I may hug the cashier.
So embarrassing.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples, with up to 40% off select tech. Staples, that was easy. Visit Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12, exclusions apply.
Having insurance is
This is Morgan County Wrangler Baseball on Hometown Radio KFTM and the Medialogic Sports Network. Tonight's exclusive play-by-play broadcast is presented by Superior Irrigation, Double R Embroidery, State Farm Agent Amy Grantham, A&R Automotive, Culligan, Rudy's Tires, Buildings by Design, McDonald Toyota, Bank of Colorado, and Country Hardware. Wranglers Baseball on Hometown Radio KFTM is also brought to you by Premier Farm Credit, Art Smart Carquest, Salisbury Supply, Slick Spot, Northern Colorado Tile, FMS Bank, Morgan County Motors, Morton Buildings, Arby's, and Corf Motors, Fort Morgan and Rush. Now to the diamond with the voice of the Wranglers, Danny DeBach.
It started in the latter stages of May, and it's brought us to this point late in July. The Front Range Championship Series is set to commence tonight from Fort Morgan, Colorado. That pins the Nebraska Outlaws and Morgan County Wranglers. 15 prior times these two teams have met. It's 8 times that Morgan County got the better of Nebraska. But tonight, they do it with playoff stakes at hand in Game 1 in the best of 3 between the Outlaws and the Wranglers. Good evening, everyone. Danny Buck joined alongside Bob Parsons as we are moments away from the start of Game number 1 of the best of 3 between Nebraska and Morgan County. These teams have been neck and neck throughout the year, and now it plays itself out in the postseason. Bob, such a pleasure to have you along for the ride.
It should be a super fun one today. These guys have played some very close games so far this year. A lot of back and forth we've seen. Sometimes the Wranglers get the best of the Outlaws, especially early on this season. As of late, it's been more of the Outlaws getting the best of them. But they have some reinforcements, the Wranglers do, heading into this one today.
We will mention about the reinforcements coming from Western Nebraska later on, but we look at the two teams at hand, Nebraska and Morgan County. These two teams having played each other the most as far as playing is concerned. The rivalry has certainly grown throughout this brief 2-month season.
And whenever you're playing a team that much, there's going to be some animosity, especially when it's back and forth like it has been. The Wranglers winning 8 of 15, like you said previously. And it's been a guy like Brock Berry that's had to make adjustments throughout the season. And he started off and he struggled a little bit against these Wranglers, but his recent appearances against them he's shown a lot of strength and has had a lot of success.
And his last start against Morgan County was a 7-0 shutout victory for Nebraska. That coming way back in June. We'll see what the story is tonight. Morgan County, they are rolling Chase Taylor on the mound. Last time he had a start was against Nebraska, and in the end, the Wranglers came away with 12-2 victory. But you have to imagine 12-2 is probably not going to be the scoreline here tonight.
Both teams are going to be putting their best foot forward for sure, and that front 3 from the Outlaws is going to prove really dividends for this team. Basie, Maloney, and Leslie have been swinging really good bats. They're leading this team in RBIs, and they're going to be doing a lot of the damage, but it's at the bottom of the order as well. Honested has been playing well. Zach Turk, when this team is rolling, he's rolling a lot as well. So it's the bottom 2 guys flipping it over to the top 3. That's where the most of the damage is likely going to be done.
On the other side for Morgan County, they do have some of their usual suspects with Nick Griffin in the lineup along with Percy Odell and also Hoshi Yusei, but also a few recent newcomers in Mick Bross, as well as Svon Dill, another recent newcomer. But a few new additions into the Morgan County lineup coming from Western Nebraska: Jacob Solis, Rivers, Freckleton, Cole Roth. And Bob, you've seen those 3 play quite a bit up in Gering throughout the course of the season. What stands out in all 3 of their games?
These are 3 of the most efficient and powerful bats in the Front Range League. Jacob Solis obviously leading the Front Range League in home runs, leading them in RBIs. What he does is self-explanatory. Just talk to any pitching coach in this league, and they're like, well, he's a good hitter. I'm not exactly sure how to attack him. Rivers Freckleton, he showed up a little bit later for those Pioneers as well as Cole Roth, but they've shown a lot of success. Cole Roth has looked really good behind the plate as well defensively. Freckleton's played all over the field. He's at second base tonight. And Solis has shown off that arm all year.
Solis with a great arm, and this has the makings of a great matchup. But we look at what are the keys to success. For Nebraska, this is a team that has a lot of strengths all over the place, but one edge in particular in this series we're looking out for is the pitching, and it begins with Brock Berry on the mound tonight for Nebraska.
And you see a little bit of a lopsided pitching matchup just based off the two matchups. But once you get into that bullpen, that's when it starts to become even more lopsided. Baseball's a funny game, though. You never know game to game what's going to happen, especially when it comes time for the postseason. But Brock Berry has had a lot of success. He's the best pitcher in the Front Range League so far this season. And you got two guys that are no scrubs right behind him in the form of Carter Reisig and Bum Jin Cho.
And that is a look at what's up ahead for Nebraska coming up. We are moments away from first pitch between Nebraska and Morgan County. Starting lineups at the other end of the break here on the Front Range League Network.
There are builders, and then there are game changers. At Buildings by Design, they make the process simple. From small ag shops to large commercial builds, they can handle your project from start to finish, keeping things on schedule and on budget, all without ever compromising on quality. Experience you can trust, precision you can see, and quality you can stand on. Buildings by Design. Start your project today at buildingsbydesign.com. McDonald Toyota of Fort Morgan. He's part of the McDonald Automotive Group and has been serving Colorado since 1965. As your Toyota dealer in Fort Morgan, they have a wide selection of new Toyota models along with hundreds of quality pre-owned vehicles across the McDonald Automotive Group. They believe doing right comes naturally, and they treat customers with a personal attention that can be hard to find. Proud to be your local new car dealer. McDonald Toyota off Exit 80 in Fort Morgan. Online at McDonaldToyotaFortMorgan.com.
Every business is different. Some move fast and others take their time. But the one thing they all need, a trusted partner to help them grow. At Bank of Colorado, that's what treasury management is all about. Being by your side with smarter payment technology, admin tools, and protection from fraud. Request a no-obligation demo at bankofcolorado.com/demo. Bank of Colorado, there's only one. Member FDIC.
Projects don't wait, and now neither do you. Country Hardware in Wiggins is making it easier than ever to get the job done. From small repairs to major builds, they've got the tools, the lumber, and the expert advice you can count on. Right now, you'll find OSB, tickets, 2x4s, and 1x materials in stock. Order anytime at countrydoitbesthardware.com. Choose the same-day pickup or ship to store. Then click it, ticket, and get back to work. Country Hardware, 218 Main Street in Wiggins.
It pays to do business with Premier Farm Credit. While most businesses return their profits to outside investors, Premier Farm Credit believes in the importance of ag cooperative ownership. Premier Farm Credit believes it's important to put our profits in our customers' pockets. $7.25 million will be returned to our members in 2025. Swing into any of our Sterling, Yuma, Fort Morgan, or Holyoke locations and become a member today. Premier Farm Credit, the gold standard in ag lending.
30 seconds.
When it comes to fixing your car, truck, or tractor, you don't want guesswork. You want the right part the first time. That's why locals trust Parts Smart CarQuest in Fort Morgan. Great people who actually know what they're doing. Great products you can count on. And great prices that keep you on budget. The team at PartSmart takes the time to get you exactly what you need, fast. PartSmart CarQuest. Great people, great products, great prices. East Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan.
Moments away from Game 1 of the Front Range Championship Series between Morgan County and Nebraska. Danny Bogg joined alongside Bob Parsons. Let's meet the starters for both teams. First, for Nebraska, what do we have with the starting lineup for the Outlaws as announced by head coach Zach McCoy?
Braden Basie, as always, will be leading off for this team and playing right field. Tegan Maloney's out there in center. He's been swinging a hot bat, especially these last couple weeks. Gideon Leslie will be playing shortstop and hitting third base. and hitting third. Fourth is Christian McKernan, who's playing first base. Hitting fifth and playing second base is Xander Martinez. Hitting sixth and DHing is Isaiah Murillo. Kingston Lee will be playing the hot corner over there at third, and he will be hitting seventh. Hitting eighth and catching tonight is Zach Turk, and rounding out this order in left field is Seth Onnested.
Look at the Morgan County lineup. That includes at center field, Nick Griffin. Then batting second, Mick Bross at shortstop. And then in right field, Jacob Solis, the home run leader of the Front Range League. And then batting fourth is Rivers Freckles, another addition from Western Nebraska, followed up by a Colorado native in Landon Calabrese at first base. Then Percy Odell bats sixth. He's at third base. And then Vaughn Dill is out in left field batting seventh. Cole Roth, another newcomer, headed to Cal State Bakersfield this upcoming season. He handles the catching, and Hoshi Yusei is a designated hitter. And Chase Taylor is a starting pitcher. As we will be back for first pitch between Nebraska and Morgan County in Game 1 of the Front Range Championship Series right after this.
No matter the project, Salisbury Supply in Fort Morgan has the parts to get it done. Their team makes the impossible possible, especially when it comes to tracking down those hard-to-find parts. The tougher the search, the more they deliver. Farm, industrial, and oilfield supplies, plus a full line of welding supplies and welding gas. Trust Salisbury Supply. Power up your operation with a visit to Salisbury Supply, just south of the railroad tracks at 119 South Main Street in Fort Morgan.
You don't punch a clock. You punch through long days, uncertain weather, and early mornings most folks never see. You plant the seed and keep going when everyone else is still asleep. So here's a simple thank you from Slick Spot Farm, Truck, and Auto. Here for you whenever the season calls. From tractor tires to discs, four-wheelers, and everything else, we'll get you set for the busy days ahead. Slick Spot Farm, Truck, and Auto in Fort Morgan and Ray.
Buying a new home should feel exciting, but let's be honest, it can get stressful fast. At Northern Colorado Title, they understand what's at stake during closing. Their team moves through each step with clear communication, careful attention, and dependable support when it matters most. From the first step to the final signature, they're focused on making the process simple. It's experienced guidance protecting one of life's biggest investments. Go where experience counts. Northern Colorado Title. Online at ncts.com.
When it comes to your next chapter, it helps to work with a bank that knows the neighborhood. That's FMS Bank. Whether you're buying your first place, building something new, or using a bridge loan to get you there, we're here to help.
With a full range of mortgage options, flexible new construction financing, cash-out refinances, and the kind of personal service you only get from a community bank that truly believes in its community.
FMS Bank, a proud partner in your success, is an equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 409493.
Some dealerships focus only on the sale. At Morgan County Motors, that's just the beginning. From routine oil changes and window tinting to dependable service that keeps you moving, our team is ready to help. Bought your vehicle somewhere else? No problem, because around here, service matters more than where you bought it. Morgan County Motors, your go-to dealership, your go-to shop. MorganCountyMotors.com.
When the world is falling apart because of war, oil prices, and fertilizer costs. When winter comes but forgets to snow, and spring doesn't even bother to spit on you as it passes by in a rush. When interest rates destroy your hope for the immediate future, and inflation sucks the joy out of your paycheck so you can't even enjoy a tasteless fast food burger without cringing, maybe it's time to invest in something that still delivers real value. Morton Buildings, a true American icon. Built tough, built right. Morton Buildings, 970-867-9454. Fuel your journey with something new from Corf CDJR in Fort Morgan. Proudly rooted in Northeast Colorado, Corf CDJR offers an impressive lineup just for you. Experience the defined luxury of Chrysler, the power and performance of Dodge or Ram, and the rugged capabilities of a Jeep. Their knowledgeable and local team provides an enhanced customer experience, all while maintaining the hometown values you've always trusted. Corf CDJR in Fort Morgan, 1221 Main Street, or Corf Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram FortMorgan.com.
After a 2-month journey, it's time to play the Front Range Championship Series. Game 1 of the best of 3. Chase Taylor earns the start on the mound this evening for Morgan County. And one of the main keys to this game here, Bob Parsons, from head coach Zach McCoy of Nebraska, he said, is to score and score early, and that could be a recipe for success for Nebraska.
They've done that recently a couple times against these Wranglers as well. The biggest thing is scoring early and also scoring often. You're going to put yourself in a good situation. You're going to be able to score early, but you also want to make sure you keep that foot on the gas and you don't just get into cruise control, start playing back on your heels.
And then the keys for Morgan County in this game, well, if they look to find success, the scoring has got to be low.
That is definitely true, especially against a guy like Brock Berry and the pitching that they're going to have behind him. And they have guys that can get length. So if Brock Berry looks like he doesn't necessarily have his best stuff out there, which I find unlikely, he hasn't been out there for a while, so Velo's likely going to be up there. We saw that from Reisig the other day. You have guys that can go 5 or 6 innings behind him in Bumjin, Cho, and Carter Reisig. And you got guys that can eat innings as well, like Grady Manuel, who's on the bench today, or Xander Martinez, who's over at second base. Manuel can sub in for him defensively.
A lot of great depth for Nebraska, but they have to contend against the likes of a Morgan County team that certainly has the recipes for success. We're ready to go. Glad you're with us on the Front Range League Network for Game 1, the best of 3 between the Outlaws and the Wranglers. And what better player to begin proceedings here this evening for Nebraska than that of Braden Basie. If there's anyone that is emblematic of the true heart of a champion, that is Basie. First pitch from Chase Taylor misses, and the count goes to 1-0.
And hitting coach Grooney is really looking for them to be aggressive when they see strikes in the zone, whether that's fastballs or off-speeds. They're predicting that Taylor's going to be a really off-speed heavy today.
And with a curveball, 1 ball and 1 strike, the count on Braden Basie. And if there's one thing that is true about his game, it's in line with his last name. Ground ball from Basie that gets through for a hit. Braden Basie is aboard with the first base runner of the championship series. So the ground ball, Basie puts himself aboard quickly. So Basie is over at first, brings on Tegan Maloney, who has gotten red hot recently for Nebraska. Had a cycle several weekends ago against Western Nebraska. As he sees Basie at first, a sign that he customarily sees throughout the year, with a lot of the Nebraska lineup not changing much throughout the year. It's a usual sight to see Basie at first for Tegan Maloney. Towering fly ball in the air to right, and this one is gone! A 2-run home run for Tegan Maloney, and Nebraska leads it 2-0.
And that's a short fence over there in right field, and I think Tegan Maloney knew that off the bat.
307 feet out in right field, and Tegan Maloney goes deep to give the Outlaws the first punch of the championship series.
And scoring early is big, and it'll be really interesting to see how Taylor's able to respond from that. Still nobody out, and there's already 2 runs across the board, and a loud 2 runs at that.
And look at the excitement from the Nebraska dugout, as they absolutely love it, and they should. Taylor delivers first pitch to Gideon Leslie. That misses, and the count's 1-0. That ball was absolutely demolished. 1-0 the count on Gideon Leslie. That a slider that missed low for ball 2.
And when you talk about attacking mistakes in the zone, that's exactly what Tegan Maloney did there. Attacked that mistake in the zone, and he did not miss it. Not that it means anything, but he's likely going to be the Friday starter as a true sophomore over at Claremont McKenna in Los Angeles at that really solid D3 school. So he can pitch, he can swing the bat. He's shown that he can swing the bat all year. One of the best offensive players in this league.
Isn't it incredible that someone that is prototypically a pitcher has found his bat in a big way? This is a high fly ball that descends out of play from Gideon Leslie. Runs the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. As it started early with Tegan Maloney with a 2-run deep shot to right. and has given the visitors a 2-0 lead.
That's RBIs 25 and 26 on the year. That's home run number 5, just increasing that slugging percentage that's already at 827 coming into the day, and just incredible work.
Bad to worse. 5-pitch walk. That puts Gideon Leslie aboard for Nebraska. Brings on Christian McKernan, who has had a home run in this ballpark, even though it's been a case where he has looked to find his bat. But McKernan certainly has the capability going deep, and he hit one deep to center field. That in a game that took place in latter stages of June. That's when Nebraska was in one of their hot streaks during the year where nobody could stop them as far as their batting was concerned.
And you really hope that they are not feeling that good today, because when that offense is clicking and you have the pitching that they have over there on the other side, they might just need those 2 runs. We've seen Brock Berry struggle at times and live in the zone a little bit too much, so you don't want to speak too soon necessarily, but if he's showing what he showed the other about a month ago in Brush, the Wranglers are in for a long night.
Christian McKernan sees the first pitch from Chase Taylor that misses upstairs. 1-0 the count. For Taylor, he was battling amongst an injury bug throughout the middle stages of the season. A check again on Leslie, who returns to the bag. 1-0 the count remains for Christian McKernan. But Taylor earned the start against Nebraska in a doubleheader weekend for the Wranglers where they split, but won the second game 12-2. 1-0 is the count to Christian McKernan. The pitch, swing and a miss from McKernan, evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
And we've seen this nearly every game recently. The first 3 batters, Basie, Maloney, Leslie, that's been the 1-2-3 punch that they've been going with, and all 3 of them have been reaching in that first inning, and they do it again today.
As they have done quite a bit of damage, as it's Taylor that's able to find the strike zone when he needed it most. Called strike 2, 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Taylor only 12 pitches so far, and Tegan Maloney with a deep shot into right has been scoring so far, and now a strikeout, Christian McKernan, and that was very much needed for Chase Taylor. 1 away.
The one thing that Cole Roth behind the plate is going to do for you, it's going to hold these aggressive Outlaw base runners at bay for the most part. We've seen them be aggressive with 2 strikes. Leslie decides not to go there on that 2-strike count to McKernan, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them try and be aggressive there, giving them the best shot with that great arm of Roth behind the plate.
Taylor with the first pitch. Martinez with contact into center field and down for a hit. Xander Martinez is aboard in the championship series as Leslie heads to second base. And already another hit for Nebraska in the top half of the first. So already a 2-0 lead brings on Isaiah Murillo for Nebraska. And the one thing that stands out about this Outlaws team is they have stuck together from thick and thin throughout the year. Taylor attempted a slider that missed above. 1-0 the count. 1-0 the count to Isaiah Murillo. Here's the pitch from Taylor. Line drive into left, and this one's down for a hit. Leslie got the side home. He's chugging his way in to score for Nebraska. Throw to third. How about an RBI double on the effort from Isaiah Murillo?
When we say score early, score often, they've done the first part already for sure. And when we say those first 3, but when they start stretching this lineup out, and guys like Martinez, Murillo, and then guy at the plate, Lee, he showed it up last night with the 2 RBI double. When these guys start hitting, this lineup looks really deep, and there's really no holes in it.
A 3-0 lead for Nebraska. Taylor with the pitch. That's a strike on Kingston Lee. Lee comes to the Midwest from Hawaii, and he is welcomed by being decked by Taylor, and the bases are loaded with 1 out.
And now we're to that kind of second part that we talked about earlier. Those first 3 guys are going to do a lot of damage, but what are these bottom 2 going to do to set you up? Are they going to be able to flip this lineup card over? Because that's when this inning gets bad to even worse.
A lot of the success for this Nebraska team has come through their depth, along with Basie, Maloney, and Leslie, the starting 3 of the lineup throughout the course of the season. What can Zach Turk do for Nebraska, however? As Taylor readies, first offering is fouled out of play. Again, bases loaded, 3-0 lead. First a 2-run home run shot from Tegan Maloney, then Isaiah Murillo with an RBI double. With Martinez at third at the moment, Murillo at second, Kingston Lee at first. Second pitch to Turk, finds a strike zone, 0-2 is the count.
And the Outlaws are really doing what they wanted to do coming into this game, according to hitting coach Grooney, is they're attacking pitches early. Leslie's the only player so far that's seen 5 pitches in at bat. Other than that, they've really been attacking early and putting power on those pitches as well. Those 2 extra base hits, one of them way over that right field fence, and Murillo finding that left center gap.
Here's the 0-2 that finds the strike zone, and a strikeout looking for Zach Turk. 2 away, brings on Seth Onestad. Now, you may find an area of comfort with the 2 outs, but you don't want to have that, especially against this Nebraska team.
They've shown such good 2-out rally ability, and Onestad's got the power to really blow this one open here.
First pitch to Onestad is lifted in the air to right and fouled.
An unfortunate thing for Chase Taylor here. He's going to have to face the top of that order either this inning or at the start of the next inning, either way.
It is early trouble for the Wranglers. This is popped up and playable, and this is down, and this is a wild throw by Rivers Freckleton, and 1 run comes in to score, and staying put on the effort was Murillo. Actually, 2 runs came in to score. It's a 5-0 lead for Nebraska in the top half of the first.
And when we talk about compound mistakes, that's kind of what we talk about. We have a hit by pitch on base. We have a walk on base that's now scored. That pitch over the middle of the plate to Tegan Maloney, that cannot happen to that good of a hitter. And right there, you have a chance to get out of this inning without having to face the top of the order again. Instead, you throw it over the first baseman's head, and you end up letting another 2 runs score.
So a 5-0 lead for Nebraska as Kingston Lee has advanced to third. Onestad, amidst all the chaos, has advanced to second base. This is a ground ball on the part of Basie, and coming in to score is Kingston Lee, and it's 6-0 Nebraska. Braden Basie already with a 2-hit game, a 2-hit first inning, mind you.
Yeah, and they did not want to test that arm of Solis out there and right.
And it was a low ground ball from Basie. TC Fairfield has made his way onto the mound, and he is in a world of issues, trailing 6-0, and Morgan County is yet to bat.
And if you're Brock Berry, I talked to Alon Seepersad the other day about what this situation can do for you as a starting pitcher, and it only gives you confidence. You know you can really just go out there and use your stuff to the best of your abilities, and you know that your offense is going to have your back.
A call to the bullpen in the first inning. Nebraska leads it 6-0. Back after this on the Front Range League Network.
You've got miles to go on that summer road trip, but in the back seat, you've got some hangry passengers. Here's the easy fix. Make a stop at Stubbs, powered by Creed Fuels in Wiggins, for a road trip reset. Hot meals from the deli, morning, noon, or night. Plus, their convenience store is open 7 days a week, packed with the essentials for wherever you're headed, along with hunting and fishing licenses. Stretch your legs, reset the mood, and hit the road refreshed. Stubbs, powered by Creed Fuels, exit 66A in Wiggins.
When folks want to know more about what we do here at Rival Services, we first let them know that we are born and bred right here in Morgan County. We're the local experts who live here, built our business here, and we are not going anywhere. We offer production and lease operators, midstream valve maintenance, gate guard services, and portable toilets, and rental equipment such as light plants, generators, and heaters. Visit us online at rivalservices.net. We are Rival Services.
Is there anything worse than paying for something that's done half-assed? You buy something, you want it to work, especially when it comes to your internet. When you're trying to stream a movie, work from home, or shop online, half-assed internet doesn't get it done. At Allo Fiber, we don't do anything half-assed. We offer 100% real fiber and real human support that serves the community from the community. So while others may say they have fiber, in the end, there's half-assed fiber, and then there's Allo Fiber. Allo Fiber, internet built for you.
Two of those are
New pitcher for Morgan County in the top half of the first, and Luke Witzel. He replaces Chase Taylor after he had 24 pitches and allowed 5 hits on 6 runs, and 3 of them were earned. He had 2 strikeouts and an ERA of 31.5. Well, where do the Wranglers go from here?
You just have to start stacking good at-bats, good innings. You're not going to get this all back in one inning likely, although we've seen a lot of crooked numbers here. You just can't let that get to your mental and your body language. You got to just try and basically fake it till you make it, till you get yourself back into this game.
Well, looking to build another good at-bat is Tegan Maloney after having a home run shot into right. Second pitch is delivered for a strike from Witzel. And the game completely has flipped on its head. You're thinking in your mind, championship series, you imagine a competitive stretch. But Nebraska has scored a touchdown on Morgan County to begin proceedings. This is fouled back, out of play. Count at 0-2. Seth Onestad is stationary at third. Braden Basie at first for Tegan Maloney. Here's the 0-2 from Witzel. That's into the dirt for ball 1.
And this is a guy these Outlaws have not seen yet, so it should be interesting how they handle that first at-bat. And the more at-bats they get under their belt against him, the better those at-bats are likely to become here.
1-2 to the left-hander and Tegan Maloney. Another high fly ball in the air, and you can say goodbye. That ball is headed to Greeley. It's a 3-run home run, and this game has broken wide open. It's 9-0 Nebraska.
And I was telling Tegan Maloney, maybe he should have had the MVP candidacy for these Outlaws, and he is maybe showing why he should have. Obviously, Braden Basie's done his job so far. He's got 2 singles. He's 2 for 2 with an RBI of his own, but 5 RBIs and 2 home runs in the first inning. And you can just feel the energy sucked out of this ballpark.
Stunned silence at Eddie Underwood Field as Tegan Maloney. You're telling me he was a pitcher only? Yeah, right. Here's Gideon Leslie. Swing and a miss on the first pitch he sees from Witzel. But a 9-0 lead for Nebraska on a ball that was absolutely demolished. Time is called. But a 9-0 lead. Reminder, their game 2 of the best of 3 on Wednesday at 6:35. Pack the Park night over in Gering, Nebraska. Always seems to bring out the best. Amongst 2 best ballparks in the Front Range League. Count evened up at 1 ball and 1 strike on Gideon Leslie, with Nebraska leading Morgan County 9-0 in the top half of the first. This pitch into the body of Gideon Leslie, forcing him to dodge. 2-1 the count. This is a Nebraska team that has been closely connected. Another pitch that Leslie has to dodge away from.
And their narrative in that dugout, true or not, is they took the Pioneers players going to the Wranglers personally, and they've shown that so far.
And boy, have they put up a huge number in this top half of the first. This is fouled out of play on the part of Gideon Leslie. Evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes, 3 balls and 2, 3 and 2. That's not even.
Leslie, the only player to really see a good amount of pitches in an at-bat so far, so they're going with that hitting strategy of attacking early and often.
Leslie takes a walk. Gideon Leslie is aboard, which brings on Christian McKernan. With a 9-0 lead for Nebraska on Morgan County. Incredible. Here's the first pitch to McKernan. Popped up. This is playable. And Rivers Freckleton underneath it. He makes the catch. And that retires the side. Thankfully for Morgan County's side, but not after 9 runs were scored off 6 hits and 1 error. And Nebraska leads it 9-0 midway through the first. Back after this on the Front Range League Network.
Ever open your car door and feel like you've just unlocked a personal rotisserie? You're the chicken, the sun is the shaft, and your steering wheel is now a cast iron skillet. Shine On Automotive can stop the madness with ceramic window tint. It blocks 90% of infrared heat, keeps your interior cool, and saves your AC from working overtime. Stop roasting. Start relaxing. Shine On Automotive, 429 North 3rd Street in Sterling.
When the job calls for quality, don't settle for second best. At University Farm Fleet and Auto in Fort Morgan, your local Napa Auto Parts store is stocked with trusted tools and equipment built to work as hard as you do. From hand tools and power tools to shop essentials and heavy-duty gear, they've got the brands pros trust and the performance you expect. Get the tools that get it done right. Napa know-how. University Farm Fleet and Auto in Fort Morgan, your local Napa store.
Special occasions, holidays, or just because. The women in your life deserve Double R embroidery. At Double R, we've got custom drinkware and the big water cups, which every woman deserves to own. Does she have a birthday coming up? Maybe she landed that promotion or nailed her big meeting. Or perhaps you just want her to know how special she is to you. Find her the gift that says it all at Double R Embroidery in downtown Fort Morgan. Shop us in-store or online at doublershop.com.
Before we begin the bottom half of the first, let's pause. Let our stations identify themselves. This is the Front Range League Network.
It feels weird, but I'll allow
This
it.
is the kind of 80s music I like. I like a little bit more of like the rock.
Classic hits, 1400 KFTM.
Morgan County to bat for the first time in the championship series, and they do so, trailing 9-0. Nick Griffin steps up to the plate. True Colorado product for the Wranglers, set to face Brock Berry. And he takes the first pitch swinging for strike 1.
And if that first pitch tells us anything, the velo is going to be there today. And we already said it earlier, when they scored those first 2, it might be a long day for them if the velo's there. And they are going to have some work ahead of them.
Second offering, a fastball with that velocity from Berry. Makes the count 0-2.
That may have looked like a fastball. I believe that was the off speed. So if there's any playoff juice involved in this one, it's going to be a long 9-run comeback here for the Wranglers.
Here's the 0-2 to Griffin. That missed. Runs the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Nick Griffin. He has played the role of hero many a times this season for Morgan County, including a walk-off grand slam against Western Nebraska earlier this season. The 1-2 pitch, ground ball. Berry pitcher straight to it. Throw over to first. Christian McKernan for out number 1.
And it might feel like something small, but that first out is so big because you're going to need every single out available to make up those 9 runs. And it just builds you that confidence. You're like, okay, I'm in the game now. Those 9 runs, They're not going to be as easy to come by, especially in this inning, because if you're the Wranglers, you need to respond now. You can't wait a couple innings to try and cut into that 9-run lead.
Brock Berry, who has not seen action since the middle of July. Here's the delivery. And for ball 1 from Berry to McBross. Made his way to Morgan County 2.5 weeks ago from the Netherlands. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Bross. That's into the dirt for ball 2.
And if you're Berry, you want to try and live in the zone as much as possible, especially you're going to have a little bit better velo than these guys have normally seen. Him and C. Prasad are generally going to have the best velo here in the Front Range League left. So just try and trust your stuff as much as possible.
2-0 the count. The pitch to Bross. That's another fastball. That missed. 3-0 the count. Hitters count for McBross. Again, Nebraska with 9 runs scored in the top half of the first. Tegan Maloney with 2 home runs to nearly the identical spot. Berry finds strike zone, 3-1 the count. Again, last appearance against Morgan County, a complete game shutout. The 3-1. That finds the strike zone on the corner. 3-2.
We've seen that home play umpire start giving those outside pitches a little bit. It's gone both ways so far. So if you're Berry, you want to try and possibly attack that a little bit, because if you're a hitter, you're not really going to be able to put good wood on those pitches up, away, and low.
Here's the payoff, and that leads to a walk. And the first base runner for Morgan County, courtesy of the Dutchman in McBross. And stepping up to the plate for Morgan County is Jacob Solis, as he looks to make, well, we could say now, his best Tegan Maloney impression, as he steps to the plate for the first time in a Morgan County uniform to face familiar foe in Brock Berry, wearing the same uniform as he's customarily seen. Solis' first pitch he sees in the Wrangler uniform is outside for ball 1.
We've seen Brock Berry take these Outlaws deep twice in a game before, but not in the same inning. He's going to need that and maybe a little bit more and some help from his teammates to come back in this one.
The 1-0, and returning to the bag in the nick of time is McBross, and boy, he can be aggressive on the base paths. We've seen several pickoff attempts work.
You don't want to be too aggressive. You need base runners. 1 run here does help, but it's not going to help cut into that 9-run lead as much as you want to, and you don't want to get making out on the base paths.
What a pitch from Brock Berry for the strike on Solis. One of the best matchups you can find in the Front Range League. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Berry squares up to deliver. Instead, he sends one in towards the feet of the first baseman, Christian McKernan, as Bross safely returns to the bag. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. 1-1 to Jacob Solis. Here's Berry to deliver, and this throw descends away from McKernan. Bross nowhere to go, but remaining stationary at first. Count remains at 1 ball and 1 strike. But a 9-0 lead. But this Nebraska team has certainly a lot of pieces to the puzzle. We've seen it with their offense. And this is a Nebraska team that doesn't tend to hit the long ball much. And that's a strike. They have the least number of home runs in the Front Range League. And yet, 2 of those home runs in this game have led to over half of the scoring from the Outlaws in the first inning. The 1-2 pitch that caused Solis to chase. And a strikeout, Solis, courtesy of Brock Berry. And puts 2 away.
We've seen Brock Berry have some of the best strikeout stuff in the Front Range League. He leads the league in innings, so that helps. But he also leads the league in strikeouts. He also leads the league in K per 9, so that tells you that it's not just the innings getting those strikeouts, it's also his strikeout stuff.
Here is Rivers Freckleton Another Western Nebraska addition. He takes strike one looking.
And I can't emphasize enough how big it is for them to try and create a little bit of momentum for themselves here in this bottom half of the first inning, because those Outlaws are going to come up with the same energy that they did last time.
Here's the 0-1 to Rivers Freckleton, and that finds the strike zone again. 0-2 the count. And keep in mind, having confirmation from President League Chuck Heeman, yes, the run rule is in effect in the postseason. 15 after 5, 10 after 7, should we reach that point. Into the dirt from Brock Berry. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. But a 9-0 lead for Nebraska, thanks to 2 home runs from Tegan Maloney. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Brock Berry to Freckleton. That missed downstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
If you're Freckleton, you have to find a way to extend this inning. You have to try and get that runner into scoring position or try and score him to the best of your abilities.
With the 2-2, Freckleton looks to extend the bottom half of the first, and he can't. Strikeout of Rivers Freckleton. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nebraska leads 9-0. Second inning to come after this on the Front Range League Network.
Today's small business owners know just how much hard work is involved in starting and growing a business. But the challenges involved are not foreign to you. You're all in. Still, it doesn't hurt to have some good neighborly help. Like yourself, State Farm agent Amy Grantham is also a small business owner. This enables her to help you choose the right insurance coverage to fit your small business needs. So why not insure your small business with a fellow small business owner who also happens to be a good neighbor?
Call me, State Farm agent Amy Grantham, today.
In the middle of the season, downtime can cost you. With Lindsay Cinematic and Field Vet products, you're backed by local dealers who know how important uptime is and act fast when you need them. With response, reliable repairs, support that keeps you moving. Contact your local Cinematic dealer, Superior Irrigation and Electric, at 970-483-7247, or stop in at 115 Central Avenue in Wiggins for fast, dependable irrigation service.
Hey there, it's Dustin from A&R Automotive and Tire. We believe in the power of preventative maintenance. Just a little luck today can save you from a whole lot of heartache and an empty wallet down the road. We offer everything from oil changes to tire rotations to keep your car in tip-top shape. So give us a call today at A&R Automotive and Tire. Let's keep your ride running smooth. It's a lot easier to prevent a problem than to fix one. Trust me. Visit us at A&R Automotive and Tire and Brush, because a smoother ride starts here.
Second inning of the Front Range League Championship Series, game number 1 that sees the Nebraska Outlaws lead Morgan County 9-0. As we're set to see Xander Martinez after he had a hit in the first inning after a lot of scoring from Nebraska. And this is a team that has been so well connected throughout the season. And it not just shows on the diamond, but also on bus rides with Mafia, of all things.
Mafia can definitely get heated at times. There's a lot of good laughs, though, involved with that. It's a good way to kind of keep a little bit of competitive spirit off the field as well, a little bit of camaraderie. And if you're the Outlaws, you want to try your best to keep that same energy you had in that first inning. I know it's kind of hard because you do have a lot of confidence now and you don't necessarily feel that pressure as much to score these runs, but that can also be helpful at the same time.
And this is a team that's well connected, and that's one of the benefits that this Nebraska team has over the other 2 teams in the league in Western Nebraska and Morgan County, you could say, is how well they have kept their roster throughout the season. This is a high fly ball down towards left field for a hit. Xander Martinez, he has a 2-hit game for Nebraska as he's aboard of a single.
So already 4 Outlaws have reached twice today, and we don't have an out in the second inning yet.
It has been an offensive onslaught from the Outlaws, already leading 9-0. Witzel delivers. Popped up. Solis out and right. Able to make the catch off 2 steps. 1 away. And how big is that for Luke Witzel?
Getting those outs are really big. But if you're the Outlaws, you have confidence. You've scored so much with 2 outs. Last inning, they had 4 runs scored with 2 outs, not including the ones on that air. So a majority of your runs have already scored on 2 outs today.
And the first offering to Kingston Lee in this at-bat. Remember, he was plunked in the first inning, as he looks to put himself on base again, this time fouled away for strike 2. Oh, and 2 the count on Kingston Lee. And think about the spot that you're coming into. If you're Luke Witzel, you're thinking you're coming in relief, depending on how long Chase Taylor can go, and that only lasted 2/3 of an inning. And now the entire game script changes. Another one of the difficulties, Morgan County with one of the Western Nebraska additions in Cole Roth, Division I to-be catcher with Cal State Bakersfield. How difficult is it to join a new team, play game 1 of the postseason as your first go with your group of guys? As Kingston Lee awaits the 0-2 pitch, throw by Witzel over to first as Martinez returns to the bag.
It can be tough at times, especially as a catcher trying to catch somebody, but Chase Taylor's not going to have overwhelming stuff, and it doesn't seem like Witzel necessarily does either. They're going to be control guys, so that makes the job of a catcher a little bit easier.
As it's Lee who takes one upstairs, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But Roth, having made a few appearances to Cal State Bakersfield, the Roadrunners, that is, that's fouled out of play by Kingston Lee. Count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count with Xander Martinez, the lead runner at first for Nebraska in the top half of the second inning. The pitch from Witzel, throw over to first. Turning safely was Martinez. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but no matter what happens in this at-bat, they will have to face the top of the order again in the 3rd inning, for which they haven't retired any of the first 3 batters, and they've had 6 RBIs.
How's this in the air to right and down for a hit from Kingston Lee? Chugging to third is Martinez. Runners on the corners with 1 out. Everything going right for Nebraska. So you got runners on the corners with 1 out, albeit this in a 9-inning game, which certainly in massive jeopardy unless things can change for Morgan County's sake. It starts with finding 2 outs, something that's been very hard to come by. Here's Zach Turk. Witzel spurs up to deliver as this is flown out of play. And you look at Front Range League, as far as their championships were concerned, last year it was the Fort Collins Foxes that won the championship game 12-10. We'll see if that scoring record is broken today by Nebraska. They're certainly in line for that. The throw gets away from Roth, and coming in to score is Martinez, and it's a 10-0 lead for Nebraska.
And you also, unfortunately, lose the double play on that as well. And if your approach was to try and make sure you get those bottom 2 guys before they get to the top, they've had success doing that. Unfortunately for them, that error to Onnested on the slow roller turned into 2 runs, but you were able to get outs. Turk struck out his last plate appearance. So if you're these 2 guys at the bottom of the order, your adjustment's going to be, let's try and flip it to the top of the order, make some harder contact, put together better quality at bats.
Can they find that out of Zach Turk? A good start with strike 1. Or beg your pardon, strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Turk. See what the catcher can offer for Nebraska. With Kingston Lee at second base. The 1-2 offering. That's into the dirt. Roth patrols. Lee doesn't even think about it. 2 balls and, beg your pardon, 2 balls and 2 strikes to count.
And I understand wanting to make that back pick to second base, or at least keeping them honest, but I think they're being a little bit aggressive with that right now, a little bit more aggressive than you need to be. You need to just try and stay within your own game, try not to do too much. I understand that you want to because of the scoreboard.
And here's a strikeout of Turk. Throw over to first. Turk is retired, 2 away, but just as the case was in the first inning, Seth Onestad steps up to the plate with 2 outs.
And this at-bat for Onestad is really when this inning got out of hand. Up until that point, it was just 3-0 in that Seth Onestad at-bat. But then he gets the error that scores those 2 runs, and then that flips the lineup card over. Basie hits the RBI single, and then Tegan Maloney obviously hits that towering shot out to right.
Onestad checks his swing, throw to third, trapped by Percy Odell. And that is one of the aspects that Nebraska does so well. That is the 101st stolen base for Nebraska this season. Again, if a team that doesn't have a heavy bat, they find their way on the base paths, and they do it so eloquently. The 0-1 popped up on the part of Onestad. Griffin strolls in center field, able to make the catch, and that retires the side. 1 run does score for Nebraska. They lead 10-0 midway through the second on the Front Range League Network.
Today on Hey Culligan, reverse to reduce. Here's Bob.
Hey Culligan, I love fresh water, but I got plastic bottles coming out.
Whoa, Bob, you are not kidding about the bottles. But did you know Culligan's reverse osmosis and always-on drinking water systems provide fresh, clean, delicious drinking water and help reduce the equivalent of over 15 billion plastic bottles from landfills worldwide?
Holy, fresh, environmentally friendly drinking water. Am I right?
Right, Bob. And we're already on the way. Let us help you out with free in-home water tests from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
You need equipment you can count on and tires that won't let you down. At Rudy Tires, you'll find semi-tires, Michelin Ag tires, spare tires and wheels, along with skid steer and Traco tracks, all backed by experience you can trust. Got a flat in the field? Rudy's Tires mobile service trucks come to you, minimizing downtime and keeping your operation running strong. Rudy's Tires. We want to roll with you. Find your tires at rudystires.com.
There are builders, and then there are game changers. At Buildings by Design, they make the process simple. From small ag shops to large commercial builds, they can handle your project from start to finish, keeping things on schedule and on budget, all without ever compromising on quality. Experience you can trust, precision you can see, and quality you can stand on. Buildings by Design. Start your project today at buildingsbydesign.com.
10-0 lead for Nebraska on Morgan County. Danny Bach joined alongside Bob Parsons as Morgan County looks to find some offense. Landon Calabrese steps up, and it's not an ideal position. Your first at bat, and you see your team trailing 10-0. As it's the Colorado native who looks to change matters, and there's a lot that would need to change for Morgan County, as they have a run rule that would be in effect in the 7th if the score remains the same. Calabrese looks to change matters against Brock Berry after only pitching 19 in the first. And a swinging strike from Calabrese begins bottom half of the second.
And for Calabrese, you just got to find a way on base. It's just a simple approach at this point. You just have to find a way on base no matter what that is.
And not a good start for Calabrese. Quickly down 0-2. Can you look for small victories? That's all you can do in a juncture like this. To climb a mountain, you have to take a step. The 0-2. Ground ball from Calabrese. Third baseman in Kingston Lee turns and throws to first for the out of Calabrese. 1 away.
And when we talk about these outs are so big. You never want to count outs in a baseball game, but when you're up 10-0, each out seems so big. and just pushes that offense of the Wranglers down even more each time you do so.
Percy Odell steps up. As Brock Berry, he has found his A game. This time into the dirt, however, on Percy Odell, the 10-0 game in the bottom half of the second inning.
And you don't want to look too far ahead, but if Brock Berry is able to eat 5 or 6 innings from you here, you save a couple of those amazing arms you're going to have out of the pen today for tomorrow.
Hard hit fouled by Percy Odell, evens up the count at 1-1. So here's Berry again. 1 ball and 1 strike to the Brush, Colorado native. And Percy Odell, he checked his swing. He did go, and nonetheless, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And with how these two teams have met, Morgan County won the first 4 meetings against the Outlaws. And all due respect, the games were not even close. And a strikeout of Percy Odell puts 2 away for Brock Berry. Brings on Von Dill.
Now batting, left fielder, number 6, Von Dill.
Morgan County, a first-year team just like Nebraska. Having paved their way with strong core to begin, and they have found their spurts down the stretch of the season. 2 away. First offering is low and in the dirt on Von Dill. 1-0 the count. As Berry awaits. 2 away. The 1-0 pitch awaiting to Von Dill. And into the dirt. 2-0. But this Nebraska team that stayed the course, huge part of the roster staying intact throughout the year. 2 balls and 1 strike is the count. Zach McCoy said that about his roster that they seek to win it the way they started. 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count on Von Dill.
Well, if that's via the run rule and scoring a lot of runs, they've done that so far. That first victory coming all the way back on May 26th, 16-5 over the Pioneers.
Ground ball from Von Dill. First baseman McKernan flips to Brock Berry for the out. And that retires the side as it continues for Nebraska with eloquent pitching. No runs off of no hits and no errors. We head to the third with our score. Nebraska 10, Morgan County no score.
McDonald Toyota of Fort Morgan is part of the McDonald Automotive Group and has been serving Colorado since 1965. As your Toyota dealer in Fort Morgan, they have a wide selection of new Toyota models along with hundreds of quality pre-owned vehicles across the McDonald Automotive Group. They believe doing right comes naturally, and they treat customers with a personal attention that can be hard to find. Proud to be your local new car dealer, McDonald Toyota, off Exit 80 in Fort Morgan. Online at McDonaldToyotaFortMorgan.com.
Every business is different. Some move fast and others take their time. But the one thing they all need, a trusted partner to help them grow. At Bank of Colorado, that's what treasury management is all about. Being by your side with smarter payment technology, admin tools, and protection from fraud. Request a no-obligation demo at bankofcolorado.com/demo. Bank of Colorado, there's only one. Member FDIC.
Projects don't wait, and now neither do you. Country Hardware in Wiggins is making it easier than ever to get the job done. From small repairs to major builds, they've got the tools, the lumber, and the expert advice you can count on. Right now, you'll find OSB, pickets, 2x4s, and 1x materials in stock. Order anytime at CountryDoItBestHardware.com. Choose the same-day pickup or ship to store. Then click it, pick it, and get back to work. Country Hardware, 218 Main Street in Wiggins.
Luke Witzel remains on the mound for Morgan County as he is set to face Braden Basie for Nebraska, along with Tegan Maloney, who has already hit 2 home runs in the first inning. We're in the top half of the third that sees Nebraska leading 10-0 on Morgan County. And if there's anyone that is Mr. Nebraska Outlaw, it begins and ends with Braden Basie.
Braden Basie's just done such a good job all year of being in that leadoff spot and taking on that leadership role as well in the dugout.
He said he would do whatever it takes. He would lay his body on the line if needed. You could almost call it a reckless abandon from Basie. Whatever it takes to win, he will do whatever it takes. He's been hit by pitches a lot this season as the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. On Basie, he's 2 for 2 today. One of many Outlaws that have gone 2 for 2 so far. This is popped up in the air. Out into center field. Nick Griffin with the run over, and he's able to make the catch to retire Basie, which brings on Tegan Maloney.
So they finally retire the leadoff batter here in the 3rd inning, which is a big thing for them to do if they want to start trying to build that momentum up for sure. But this is a guy that has already proven today that he's not going to be an easy out.
Tegan Maloney with 2 home runs in the 1st inning as he steps in and takes a strike from Witzel.
Surprised they threw him a strike. You do have first base open.
Here's the 0-1 as Witzel awaits. The 0-1, that sailed wide and outside, evens up the count. But for Tegan Maloney, quite the journey for him. Came in, hasn't pitched a single inning for Nebraska this season. The 1-1 misses outside, 2-1 the count. But what a great chance for Luke Witzel. Played for Fort Morgan's 18U side. Now seeing action in the Front Range League against great talent. Grounder from Maloney that descends out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. But Maloney surveys the scene. Perhaps the dust that has settled from both his home run shots out in right field. The 2-2. And that leads to a strikeout of Tegan Maloney. And that to build on the confidence for Luke Witzel, 2 away. Brings on Gideon Leslie. The top half of the 3rd, with Nebraska leading Morgan County 10-0 in Game 1 of the best of 3 Front Range Championship Series. With 2 away. Witzel with the pitch. That misses for ball 1. So Nebraska with 8 hits, 10 runs to show for it. And a fastball from Witzel for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. And for Nebraska, this is a case where with 2 outs, this is a team that has scored a heavy multitude of their runs with 2 outs in innings. And you look at some of the main highlights throughout the year. How about the 4th of July? Swing and a miss from Leslie. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zach McCoy, head coach for Nebraska, said that may have been the most fun he's ever had in baseball, besides winning a conference championship with Dubuque. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Witzel. Fouled away. You were there for the 4th of July. Boy, how memorable was that?
That was one of the cooler baseball experiences I've been a part of. I've never had the opportunity to kind of play in a small town atmosphere like this. I grew up in the city of Seattle, which is You don't necessarily get that small town feel, especially on the 4th of July, which is really something special.
This is popped up into foul territory near the Morgan County dugout and out of play. Fireworks shooting off all night, including a nice burst of fireworks right before the winning play. How about Seth Onestad with that speed at the end of the game? What might have been an iffy case of whether he should have stayed or gone, and got the sign home and made it in just in time to win the game. Not to mention that was a 4-run bottom half of the inning. So this is fouled away by Leslie.
I mean, you just hope that you don't need those kind of heroics tonight.
Nebraska does lead 10-0. Outlaws did win that game 13-12 on the 4th of July. Here's the 2-2. Leslie elevates deep in the air to right, near the wall, and caught by Solis. And that retires the side, as Nebraska unable to score in the top half of the third. They do lead 10-0.
It pays to do business with Premier Farm Credit. While most businesses return their profits to outside investors, Premier Farm Credit believes in the importance of ag cooperative ownership. Premier Farm Credit believes it's important to put our profits in our customers' pockets. $7.25 million will be returned to our members in 2025. Swing into any of our Sterling, Yuma, or Morgan or Holyoke locations and become a member today. Premier Farm Credit, the gold standard in ag lending.
When it comes to fixing your car, truck, or tractor, you don't want guesswork. You want the right part the first time. That's why locals trust Parts Smart CarQuest in Fort Morgan. Great people who actually know what they're doing. Great products you can count on. And great prices that keep you on budget. The team at Parts Smart takes the time to get you exactly what you need, fast. Parts Smart CarQuest. Great people, great products, great prices. East Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan.
No matter the project, Salisbury Supply in Fort Morgan has the parts to get it done. Their team makes the impossible possible, especially when it comes to tracking down those hard-to-find parts. The tougher the search, the more they deliver. Farm, industrial, and oil field supplies, plus a full line of welding supplies and welding gas. Trust Salisbury Supply. Power up your operation with a visit to Salisbury Supply, just south of the railroad tracks at 119 South Main Street in Fort Morgan.
We return you for the midway portion of the third inning. Danny Bogg joined alongside Bob Parsons. Nebraska leads in Game 1 of the Front Range Championship Series best of 3 by a score of 10-0. Brings on Cole Roth for Morgan County. Again, headed to Cal State Bakersfield. Name of the Roadrunners. Great school. It has Division I recognition, but it's intimate enough where it's not one of those large Power 4 schools. Cal State Bakersfield, a strong community out in the Golden State. Here's the 0-1. Elevated in the air by Roth into foul territory and out of play. 0-2 the count. But for Roth, what a great way to ignite yourself with some reps in the Front Range League before playing Division I ball. Great setup up ahead for Cole Roth. The 0-2, and that's a 3-pitch strikeout from Brock Berry. And you talk about having his stuff tonight. He's got that and then some. 1 away.
4 strikeouts through 2 1/3 innings, and has the only blemish on his night so far is that 1 walk to Mick Bross. It should be interesting to see what it looks like the second time through the order and how he makes the adjustments. He went very off-speed heavy to Roth there, though.
Here's Hoshi Yusei in the DH spot. Takes ball 1. Yusei, who in the final game of the regular season. Had a day that he would much rather forget, albeit there were no stakes involved in that game. But a 10-0 lead for Nebraska. This is fouled by Yusei. 1 ball and 1 strike. But you certainly look at Brock Berry, and he does have his array of pitches that he likes. Likes to think his curveball is one of his finer pitches. His fastball also nothing to be ashamed about. 2-1 is the count on Hoshi Yusei.
Had a chance to talk to him earlier. That interview is now up on the Front Range, the Nebraska Outlaws Instagram account. But that baby slider, that off-speed that's got very tight spin and not as much movement is going to be his favorite go-to pitch, and we've seen him use it a lot already today.
Bob Parsons has done an excellent job throughout the course of this season documenting the Outlaws on social media. A job well done. Here's the 3-1. And that leads to another walk. Hoshi Yusei with a quality at-bat is aboard for Morgan County for Nick Griffin.
And that is something that the Outlaws do struggle with at times. I had a conversation with pitching coach AC on the way over here. They walk the bottom of the order a lot more than they walk the top of the order, which is not typically you really want to see out of your pitching staff. You want to hope that they're living a little bit more in the zone, especially to those guys at the bottom of the order who you're supposed to kind of attack a little bit more.
And the story with AC also, having been a pitcher himself over at Rice University, Division I school no less. How cool is it to have someone with a D1 caliber who's been there? He's done it with Rice over in Houston, now a part of the coaching staff.
It's huge, and just bringing that professionalism that comes with the Division I level. There, like you said previously, there aren't necessarily a ton of differences at times, but Rice is such a good program in the state of Texas. It's a great state for sports, obviously, especially baseball. So many good baseball players come out of there, come out of Rice. And now the pitching coach at Occidental, a D3 school in Southern California, one of the best leagues in the country, the league that Tegan Maloney plays in himself at Claremont McKenna. Chapman's also in that D3 conference, and just so much good talent, and just iron sharpens iron is the end of the story pretty much.
And it goes through the entire coaching staff with James Grunfelder, another assistant coach coming from Maryland of all places. And he has certainly been one that has found a home in Gehring, Nebraska for the summer at least. This is out of play from Griffin, 1 ball and 2 strikes. As Brock Berry has now seen the top of the order. 1 away, bottom of the third, Nebraska leading 10-0. Grunfelder, a communications major out on the East Coast, but his passion certainly baseball. Actually did broadcasting and called an array of different sports. Here's the 1-2 offering. Swing and a miss from Griffin, and a punch out from Brock Berry again.
He's hunting down his own record right now. 5 strikeouts through 2 2/3 innings. He's got the Front Range League single game record for this year, at least, with a dozen. But again, he's going to face the guy that's one of his only 2 blemishes on this scorecard so far.
That's Mick Bross, who walked his first appearance at the plate and takes swinging strike as Brock Berry puts himself ahead in the count.
And when he's able to locate that off-speed to those batters, especially early in the count, it's when he hasn't been able to do that those walks have happened and he falls behind in the count. But when he lands that first pitch for a strike, you're in for a long at-bat.
Here's the 0-1 into the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Because that fastball looks really hot right now. It's probably going to be likely upper 80s, maybe even low 9s. I've heard he's hit a couple this summer. So with that break, it's rest versus rust. It's looking like rest today.
1 ball and 1 strike delivered low on Bros. 2-1 the count. Let's really think about numbers and records that could be achieved by Brock Berry. Who's to know if the game even lasts that long? Here's the 2-1. Hard hit and down for the first hit of the day for Mick Bros as Hoshi Yusei advances to second base. So Mick Bros, first base runner, first hit for the Wranglers in the bottom half of the third.
Now batting, right fielder number 1, Jacob Solis.
Jacob Solis steps aboard. And if you're Morgan County and you look to build something off of this bottom half of the third, Jacob Solis certainly has the bat to do so.
And this game is going to decide whether this one ends early or not right here.
And this is trapped in the dirt. 2 outs, pair of base runners aboard, and Hoshi Yusei and Mick Bros for Jacob Solis.
Because this is the best offensive bat in this game, and there's nowhere else you want. I mean, ideally you see this with less than 2 outs if you're the Wranglers, but at the same time you want runners on base for this guy.
Solis struck out first appearance, and he's ahead in the count 2-0. Headed to Arizona Christian. Already seen plenty of time down in the desert. 2-0 count awaits from Brock Berry. Solis takes ball 3.
And the last thing you want to do here if you're Brock Berry, he's already done it this inning, but you want to try and limit the amount of times you do it, is walking guys, especially with as big of a lead as you have.
3-0 count to Jacob Solis. Glance at Yusei at second base. The pitch from Berry. Hit high in the air to center field. This near the wall. That ball is gone! It's a home run for Jacob Solis! And Morgan County chips into the Nebraska lead. It's 10-3. An absolute deep shot from Jacob Solis for Morgan County. His first home run in a Wrangler uniform. Not only puts the Wranglers on the board, puts 3 up for Morgan County for Rivers Freckleton.
And Brock Berry just not necessarily in an ideal situation there. That ball probably still not getting caught at Oregon Trail Park Stadium, but that ball is definitely not leaving. That ball probably went about 350, just clearing that center field fence, a short center field fence at that.
We have gotten confirmation as we are now told there is no run rule in effect in the postseason. With 2 away, here's Rivers Freckleton. The pitch. That finds a strike zone. So with that knowledge in mind, Freckleton awaits. Delivery from Brock Berry. Elevated in the air to left center field and caught by Tegan Maloney at center. And that retires aside Jacob Solis of a 3-run home run shot. Morgan County. Nebraska, however, leads 10-3.
When something's wrong with your vehicle, you want someone who's seen it before. At Slick Spot Farm Truck and Auto, experience matters. Yes, they're known for ag tires and heavy-duty work, but they also handle the everyday things your vehicle needs. Oil changes, tires, AC repair, radiator repair, transmission or engine work, routine maintenance to major repairs. They've got the tools and the know-how to get it done. Slick Spot Farm Truck and Auto in Ray and Fort Morgan.
Buying a new home should feel exciting, but let's be honest, it can get stressful fast. At Northern Colorado Title, they understand what's at stake during closing. Their team moves through each step with clear communication, careful attention, and dependable support when it matters most. From the first step to the final signature, they're focused on making the process simple. It's experienced guidance protecting one of life's biggest investments. Go where experience counts. Northern Colorado Title. Online at ncts.com.
At FMS Bank, we don't just know your account number.
We know you. We know Antonio, Catherine, Parker, Maya, and so many more
Because big dreams don't need a big bank. They need a partner, one who knows your name, understands your goals, and is willing to put in the work right alongside you. While other banks see numbers, we see neighbors, families, local dreams taking shape right here in northern Colorado. FMS Bank, a proud partner in your success, is an equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Not every place that sells vehicles will service them, but at Morgan County Motors, we do. When you buy from us, we're here long after the handshake with oil changes, maintenance repairs, window tinting, and the service you deserve. And even if you didn't buy it from us, bring it in anyway. We're proud to be the shop this community can count on. Morgan County Motors. We service what we sell and even what we don't. MorganCountyMotors.com.
We return you Eddie Underwood Field, a ground ball that was played by Percy Odell for the out of Christian McKernan for out number 1 off of the first pitch from Luke Witzel. Puts one away, steps up Xander Martinez, and he is gone 2 for 2 for Nebraska in this game. As they lead 10-3, game 1 of the Front Range Championship Series. Ball 1 taken by Martinez. Again, we look to show you what's gone on in this game and some of the highlights. Well, Tegan Maloney has been that story. 2 home runs in what was a 9-run first inning for Nebraska. They eventually bolstered their lead up to 10-0 before Jacob Solis had a 3-run home run shot in the bottom of the 3rd. In the air on the part of Martinez into right, and making the catch is Jacob Solis for out number 2. So quickly 2 away.
That's 7 straight Outlaws that have been retired now.
As Luke Witzel has taken matters into his own hands as he looks for run support. Here's Isaiah Murillo. Santa Fe's Witzel. As he puts one over the top for ball 1. What has impressed you about Witzel since the first inning?
I think just the perseverance aspect of it. You can have a time when you first batter you face, that ball goes way over the right field fence. You can kind of get in your own head about it, and obviously that Martinez wild pitch does score in that second inning, but since then he's been lights out, and he's really started to crack the door for those Wranglers, and that helps when Solis goes yard like he did last inning.
2 balls and 1 strike is the count. Keep in mind, this is a 9-inning game. So for Morgan County, that's the best news that they can ever afford. This is down for a hit from Isaiah Murillo, who's aboard, as he's 2 for 3 in game 1 of the championship series. So here's Kingston Lee. Ever been to Hawaii?
I have been to Hawaii. My dad married his ex on Kauai. So spent some important moments there.
The Hawaiian native watches one sail foul.
I've not been to the Big Island, however. And that's where Kingston Lee is from. He's the Big Island native from Kailua Kona. So, and now attends Skagit Valley College up in Washington, one of a couple athletes from there.
This skips into the dirt to an unbeknownst Isaiah Murillo. But a 10-3 score line. As Luke Witzel has shown great maturity, having just emerged from high school. Against collegiate level batters, this is a high fly ball deep in the air to left center field, and this descends along the wall. Murillo coming around to third. He's got the side home. Murillo, the throw to the plate, not in time, and Nebraska has scored again. It's 11-3 off the RBI double from Kingston Lee.
And I was going to be curious to see if they were going to start hacking back, getting back into the game. They've been so good all summer at responding to teams. They respond again here, even though they already had that 7-run lead, but they said that's not enough. We're going to make sure that you know where you're at between these two teams.
And they are certainly making a statement. Nebraska brings on Zach Turk. When it rains, it pours. And the Outlaws certainly having their way. Swing and a miss by Turk. Amidst all the scoring that's been done by Nebraska in this game, 11 runs, 10 hits to show for it. Zach Turk has not been on base in this game. Here's the 0-1. He takes strike 2.
And when we talk about the bottom of the order doing their stuff to flip it over for the top, if you would have told me that the bottom of the order going into the 3rd inning was 0 for 4, I'd say the Wranglers are probably winning this ball game. But it's just been the top half just doing an inconceivable amount of damage at the top of the order.
It has been an absolute demolition from that top part of the lineup. Counted 0-2, however, for Zach Turk. Runner at second base in Kingston Lee. This a ground ball from Turk. Bross turns and throws over to first, and extending and putting his foot off the bag was Landon Calabrese. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. And the fielding has gone through its difficulties throughout the season for Morgan County. TC Fairfield looks for an explanation. This leads to a conference. We have seen calls overturned after discussion from our officiating crew, and there is confirmation. Turk was safe, so he's aboard for Nebraska. So for the Outlaws, as far as putting themselves on base is concerned, they have done that incredibly well. Gideon Leslie has scored a run, and in fact, every Outlaw except Zach Turk, who just got on base, has scored a run today.
Outside of Christian McKernan as well, who's 0 for 3.
11 runs on the board, though. Nothing to be ashamed about. Here's the 0-1. High fly ball into left center field. Making the catch is Von Dill for out number 3. But it's Nebraska that scores again. They lead 11-3 midway through the 4th.
When the world is falling apart because of war, oil prices, and fertilizer costs. When winter comes but forgets to snow, and spring doesn't even bother to spit on you as it passes by in a rush. When interest rates destroy your hope for the immediate future, and inflation sucks the joy out of your paycheck so you can't even enjoy a tasteless fast food burger without cringing, maybe it's time to invest in something that still delivers real value. Morton Buildings, a true American icon. Built tough, built right. Morton Buildings, 970-867-9454. Fuel your journey with something new from Corf CDJR in Fort Morgan. Proudly rooted in Northeast Colorado, Corf CDJR offers an impressive lineup just for you. Experience the defined luxury of Chrysler, the power and performance of Dodge or Ram, and the rugged capabilities of a Jeep. Their knowledgeable and local team provides an enhanced customer experience, all while maintaining the hometown values you've always trusted. Corf CDJR in Fort Morgan, 1221 Main Street, or Corf Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram FortMorgan.com.
That's insane. You've got miles to go on that summer road trip, but in the back seat, you've got some hangry passengers. Here's the easy fix. Make a stop at Stubbs, powered by Creed Fuels and Wiggins, for a road trip reset. Hot meals from the deli, morning, noon, or night. Plus, their convenience store is open 7 days a week, packed with the essentials for wherever you're headed, along with hunting and fishing licenses. Stretch your legs, reset the mood, and hit the road refreshed. Stubbs, powered by Creed Fuels, exit 66A in Wiggins.
Midway through the 4th, Nebraska with an 11-3 lead in Game 1 of the Front Range Championship Series. Danny Bach alongside Bob Parsons, where we see Brock Berry returning to the mound. 55 pitches up to this point through 3 innings. And he has been spectacular. Only allowed 2 hits with a 3-run home run shot, courtesy of Jacob Solis. An 11-3 game. Here's Landon Calabrese, however, for Morgan County to face Barry. And he elevates one into the gap in center field and down for a hit. Landon Calabrese chugging for second, and he is safely there with a double for Morgan County. And you have to start somewhere, and Landon Calabrese does just that for the Wranglers with a long double.
And again, those base runners, it's just base runners, base runners, base runners, and trying to limit the outs and spacing out your outs and trying to stack good ABs as much as you can.
Brings on Percy Odell. Here's the pitch from Barry, and a strike. It leads into the question, if you are head coach Zach McCoy for Nebraska, how long do you leave Barry? Do you give him more of a rest, or do you keep his arm intact? Here's a ground ball. Shortstop Leslie throws over to first for the out, as Calabrese remains at second base. So 1 away, as Vaughn Dill steps in and made his appearance to Morgan County roughly 2 weeks ago. Set to face Brock Barry. First pitch inside for ball 1, as it does get away, and Calabrese is able to comfortably walk to third. With a haltage in play.
And if you're the Outlaws, you want to try and limit those little mistakes as best as possible. If you're Zach Turk, you really want to try and squeeze that one. Pass balls in this kind of score aren't necessarily the biggest of issues.
Dill with a ground ball straight to the first baseman, McKernan. As Calabrese comes in to score, it's an 11-4 game.
But it's things like that that allow a run to score, where in this situation, it's not the end of the world having a pass ball happen there, but it's just little corrections and it's little lapses of attentiveness that if you're Zach McCoy, you want to try and limit those as much as possible because you don't want to open the door whatsoever for this team to try and get back into this game.
With 2 away for Cole Roth. That is spiked into the dirt. 1-0 the count. With Yusei on deck before the top of the order, reemerges for Morgan County. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss from Roth for a strike. What's impressed you about Roth since he's made his way to the Front Range League?
It's really been that arm defensively and how consistent he's been defensively as such a young catcher.
The 1-1, swing and a miss. There's a good reason why he's going D1. 1-2 is the count on Brock Barry, though. The pitch into the dirt evens up the count. And saw some time playing for the Western Nebraska Pioneers near the late stages of the season. Now playing in the postseason for Morgan County. Here's the 2-2 from Barry to Cole Roth. And a strikeout of Roth looking. And that retires the side. One run does score, that being in Landon Calabrese. But it's Nebraska still up big, 11-4.
When folks want to know more about what we do here at Rival Services, we first let them know that we are born and bred right here in Morgan County. We're the local experts who live here, built our business here, and we are not going anywhere. We offer production and lease operators, midstream valve maintenance, gate guard services, and portable toilets, and rental equipment such as light plants, generators, and heaters. Visit us online at rivalservices.net. We are Rival
services.
Is there anything worse than paying for something that's done half-assed? You buy something and you want it to work, especially when it comes to your internet. When you're trying to stream a movie, work from home, or shop online, half-assed internet doesn't get it done. At Allo Fiber, we don't do anything half-assed. We offer 100% real fiber and real human support that serves the community from the community. So while others may say they have fiber, in the end, there's half-assed fiber, and then there's Allo Fiber. Allo Fiber, internet built for you.
Top half of the fifth inning, Nebraska with an 11-4 lead on Morgan County. Danny Bach joined alongside Bob Parsons, where we see Braden Basie leading off an inning for the third time today, just like he did in the first. See how matters change for Nebraska, where Luke Witzel has pitched admirably well as he is replaced with a new pitcher for the Wranglers. Stepping in is that of Cooper Chisholm, where he only pitching so far today. And Chisholm, in his story last season in the high school level, he broke Trey McBride's hitting record for Fort Morgan with 46 hits in a season, surpassing McBride's mark of 41. And when you have your name amongst the likes of an NFL star, well, you're in great company if you are Cooper Chisholm.
Obviously, athletes can translate well to different sports. I always think of Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, NFC West, and when you're thinking about NFC West, what comes to mind in this game is that 2026 NFC divisional round game where I watched my Seahawks blitz an unfortunate team from the Bay Area early, and they didn't really look back, and that's kind of what it's looked like so far. This one has never really been in reach so far for the Wranglers.
You think about the AFC West and some names that have played both, as Braden Basie flies one deep in the air to right center field. Solis trots and makes the catch for the out. But you think about great two-way sport athletes. How about John Elway, a draft pick of the New York Yankees? And then, he only won 2 Super Bowls with the Denver Broncos, and certainly was a thorn in the side to many teams in the AFC West, including Seattle. One away, though, for Tegan Maloney. He's 2 for 3 today. Those 2 hits, those were 2 deep shots to right, with a 2-run home run in the first inning and a 3-run home run in, first inning. Swing and a miss from Maloney for strike 1.
I do really like what I've seen from Witzel, though. Obviously, that last inning didn't really go the way he wanted it to. Those 3 straight hits, only giving up that 1 run, though. But the way he's been able to adjust, especially to this top of the order, that showed how dangerous they can be.
Outside, on the part of Tegan Maloney, as we look to see what Maloney would do this time. How about a deep shot into center field? How about a 3-home run game for Tegan Maloney? Incredible!
I said they should start walking him when first base is open. Might have to go have a conversation with TC Fairfield. But do you think he likes hitting here? We asked that question earlier. I think it's at least 4 home runs he's hit here. And like I said, just putting that game even more out of reach is just so huge, especially when they're able to put up that run last inning. To just put it right back on them is so demoralizing on both ends, and it gives this offense a little bit of juice that they might need here in these dog days of this game.
Ground ball from Leslie, juggled by Odell at third. Throw over to first for the out of Leslie. Let's pause. There's station identification on the Front Range League Network.
Feels weird, but I'll allow it.
This is the kind of 80s music I like. I like a little bit more of like the rock.
Classic Hits, 1400 KFTM.
You talk about breaking plenty of records for that of Tegan Maloney. That home run just tied the record for most runs scored in a postseason game. Ground ball, Odell again from third, throws over to first for the out of Christian McKernan. But Tegan Maloney, he is the story. A 3-home run game as we are midway through the 5th. 12-4 lead for the Outlaws.
Ever open your car door and feel like you've just unlocked a personal rotisserie? You're the chicken, the sun is the shaft, and your steering wheel is now a cast iron skillet. Shine On Automotive can stop the madness with ceramic window tint. It blocks 90% of infrared heat, keeps your interior cool, and saves your AC from working overtime. Stop roasting. Start relaxing. Shine On Automotive. 429 North 3rd Street in Sterling.
When the job calls for quality, don't settle for second best. At University Farm Fleet and Auto in Fort Morgan, your local Napa Auto Parts store is stocked with trusted tools and equipment built to work as hard as you do. From hand tools and power tools to shop essentials and heavy-duty gear, they've got the brands pros trust and the performance you expect. Get the tools that get it done right.
Napa know-how.
University Farm Fleet and Auto in Fort Morgan, your local Napa store.
Special occasions, holidays, or just because. The women in your life deserve Double R embroidery. At Double R, we've got custom drinkware and the big water cups, which every woman deserves to own. Does she have a birthday coming up? Maybe she landed that promotion or nailed her big meeting. Or perhaps you just want her to know how special she is to you. Find her the gift that says it all at Double R Embroidery in downtown Fort Morgan. Shop us in-store or online at doublershop.com.
12-4 lead for Nebraska on Morgan County. Danny Bach joined alongside Bob Parsons as we are in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Front Range Championship Series Game 1. It sees the Outlaws up 12-4. First pitch strike delivered to Hoshi Yusei from Brock Berry, who remains on the mound. 66 pitches so far. 67 is in the dirt, even up the count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
We could also call this scoreboard 6-4 Tegan Maloney over the Wranglers as well. 6 RBIs already in the first 5 innings.
This is into the dirt from Berry. But this is the Tegan Maloney show and then some. Talk about big-time performers. Maloney, certainly a fixture heading into his sophomore year of college. Here's the 2-1. Another one, this into the dirt. 3-1 the count on Hoshi Yusei. Remember the case with Yusei. He had the nightmarish game on Saturday, and then he had the walk that later was capped off with the home run by Jacob Solis in that inning. Here's the 3-1. This is popped up. Second baseman Martinez backs up, loses his hat, and there to make the catch is the ever so calm Braden Pacey.
And again, every single out is so big in this scenario. When you start getting later into this game, you're hoping Brock Berry can hopefully get 6 innings for you. Then you just call on one of those arms, whether it's Reisig or Cho. And they can go those final 3 innings, hopefully keeping it clean. And when you think of player of the game, presuming that the Outlaws are able to hold on to this one, how can it not be Tegan Maloney in already 5 innings of work?
It might have already been decided in the first inning, the way things have trended. Swing and a miss from Griffin. Counted 0-1. Tegan Maloney, have yourself a day with 3 home runs, 2 in the first, as he has pleasantly set the tone for his Nebraska side. Boy, what a fun game of Mafia might be awaiting for the bus ride for this Nebraska team. Forged by Mafia, and you look at the season, their roughest patch, where they had 2 games where they were blown out by Western Nebraska and Morgan County. This is flown out of play. Zach McCoy said the day after Outlaws could not find their way, he said, today, nothing to do with baseball. Do something else. Whether it was playing spike ball or other games, certainly enjoyed themselves, and they found the time to turn on the switch, and they've done it in a big way. The 1-2 pitch to Griffin misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count.
And as Brock Berry works through this top half of the order for the third time, this is a big time for this top half of the order. You want to try and cut into that 8-run lead as much as you can, and you want to try and start scoring more runs than the Outlaws are scoring. They obviously put up that 3 spot, and the Outlaws have just responded with 1 run apiece.
And how about a strikeout of Nick Griffin? 2 away.
And the strikeout has been Brock Berry's go-to all summer. Tonight he has, do some quick math here.
He's counting.
7 strikeouts in just 4 2/3 of an inning. If we want to use the computer as well, check my math maybe.
We can do that. Here's Mick Bross with a ground ball. Third baseman Lee turns and throws to first in time for the out to retire to side. And yes, for confirmation, Brock Berry in the game. He's got 7 strikeouts. We have a break in the action as we head to the 6th with our score: Nebraska 12, Morgan County 4.
We are going out tonight.
But I just put my comfy pants on. What are we celebrating?
I just bundled our home and auto insurance with State Farm agent Amy Grantham and saved us money.
Oh, nice. Can't we just order in, though?
Are you serious? We just bundled. Plus, Amy helps me personalize our coverage.
But what about this bundle? My slippers and sweatpants.
I'm ready to help you combine home and auto and save in Morgan County.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability, discounts, savings, and eligibility may vary.
The best fix for downtime. Prevent it in the first place. With Lindsay's Somatic and Field That product, plus a dealer who's ready when you need them, you get fast service and reliable support all season long, so you can stay focused on your craft. Call your local Somatic dealer, Superior Irrigation and Electric, at 970-483-7247, or stop in at 115 Central Avenue in Wiggins to keep your system running strong.
Hey there, it's Dustin from A&R Automotive and Tire. We believe in the power of preventative maintenance. Just a little luck today can save you from a whole lot of heartache and an empty wallet down the road. We offer everything from oil changes to tire rotations to keep your car in tip-top shape. So give us a call today at A&R Automotive and Tire. Let's keep your ride running smooth. It's a lot easier to prevent a problem than to fix one. Trust me. Visit us at A&R Automotive and Tire in Brush.
I'm leaving at 6 a.m. the next day.
Top half of the 6th commences. Danny Bach joined alongside Bob Parsons in Game 1 of the best of 3 in the Front Range Championship Series. That sees the Nebraska Outlaws in front of Morgan County by the count of 12-4. Xander Martinez steps aboard. He's 2 for 3 today. All amidst the fan of a long, heavy coal train making its way. Breeze has always been kind to us here at Fort Morgan whenever it goes by. As we see Xander Martinez face Cooper Chisholm. This is a high fly ball, and that well fouled out of play.
And I really like what I've seen from 5, 6, and 7 of this order today. Multiple hits from those spots out of each of those guys. A couple extra base hits as well, a couple RBIs. That's really what you like to see, especially from the lower half of your order.
Pitch misses upstairs on Martinez, evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. And boy, this Nebraska team, with how they've proven themselves tonight, time was called. They have done all the little things right. And it certainly is emblematic from their leader. This barely misses Martinez. 2 balls and 1 strike, the count. Oh, this is a 12-4 game, hard hit on the ground. This is bobbled by Odell, and making it to first in the nick of time is Xander Martinez.
And I know we've given Tegan Maloney his flowers today, and he deserves them. Obviously, 3 for 4, 3 home runs. In the top of the order, we've given them their flowers as well. But how about that? The middle of this order, 5, 6, and 7, they've just been retired 2 times and now 10 at-bats.
Chisholm delivers. This is flown out of play from Isaiah Murillo. And like you mentioned, he's got 2 hits in the game. It has been relentless from Nebraska. And there's the old adage, can't win a game in the first inning, but, well, a couple innings remains to be seen. Here's a strike delivered to Murillo, and the count is at 0-2.
And if this entire order continues to hit, the Wranglers are going to have a long day for the rest of today and on Wednesday as well. And their pitchers are going to have a tough time when these Outlaws are stacking quality at bats like they are right now.
The 0-2, and Murillo strikes out swinging. So Cooper Chisholm able not to strike out for Morgan County. And that leads the strikeout count to 5 as a team for the Wranglers. Stepping up is Kingston Lee as he scored a run last inning. Here's the pitch from Chisholm. Hard hit to center field for a hit. Kingston Lee, he's 3 for 3 today.
And the only Outlaw yet to be retired.
Boy, has he been sensational. Kingston Lee, and as far as his numbers are concerned, he has 3 hits, 2 singles, and a double. And he does have a run.
Also a stolen base, showing off that speed, as well as an RBI on that double.
Here's the pitch from Chisholm on the ground and fouled.
And both of those guys, Martinez and Lee, making it now 10 for 12 in on-base opportunities from 5 through 7 in that order.
This has been impressive from the Nebraska Outlaws in the latter stages of their lineup. As taking a strike swinging is Zach Turk. Got aboard after beginning the night 0 for 2. So here is Chisholm, who readies with the 0-2 pitch. Here's the stretch. The 0-2 delivery is popped up. Second baseman calling off everybody and making the catch is Freckleton. Throw over to first. So fly out ensues, 2 away.
And I'm not sure which part of the order has been more impressive so far. Obviously, you have a little bit more pop at that top of the order, but the on-base prowess of that 5 through 7 has been so impressive.
And it's been showcased all throughout the lineup, and it's all the boxes have been checked for Nebraska up to this stage. Swing and a miss from Seth Onestad for strike 1.
That 1 through 3 is 7 for 12 in on-base opportunities, but they also hold 7 of the 12 runs batted in here.
The 0-1 count. Waits to Onestad into the dirt for ball 1. Runners stay put at second and first. Nebraska leading Morgan County 12-4 in Game 1 of the Front Range Championship Series. Here's the 1-1. Onestad, swinging strike, throw over to third, and out on the play is Martinez, and that retires the side. As he attempted to steal, Nebraska, a team that has a 90% steal success rate, but not that time, as Cole Roth with the throw for the out of Martinez brings us midway through the 6th with our score, Nebraska 12, Morgan County 4 on the Front Range League Network.
Today on Hey Culligan, smooth skin and soft hair comes from where? Here's Mike.
Hey Culligan, I've tried every conditioner, lotion, and body wash known to man, and my skin still feels like sandpaper.
It could be your water, Mike.
Oh, that's harsh.
More like hard water. Are you interested in smart, high-efficiency water softeners from Culligan Water? Want baby smooth skin and soft, luxurious hair?
Yeah, can you hurry? I have a date tonight.
We're already on the way, Mike. Let us help you out with the free in-home water test from a local Culligan Water expert at Culligan.com.
You need equipment you can count on and tires that won't let you down. At Rudy's Tires, you'll find semi-tires, Michelin Ag tires, spare tires and wheels, along with skid Here at Traco Tracks, all backed by experience you can trust. Got a flat in the field? Rudy's Tires mobile service trucks come to you, minimizing downtime and keeping your operation running strong. Rudy's Tires. We want to roll with you. Find your tires at rudystires.com.
"12-4 lead for Nebraska on Morgan County in Game 1 of the Front Range Championship Series, the best of 3. Danny Bach joined alongside Bob Parsons as we are set to see the home run leader and the Front Range League, and Jacob Solis lead off to start the bottom half of the 6th for Morgan County. He had accounted for a 3-run home run shot in the 3rd inning as he hopes to instill life for Morgan County as they look to rally, facing an 8-run deficit. And Brock Berry, certainly cognizant of who he's facing, drives one away for ball 1.
It should be interesting to see how long the leash is for Brock Berry. He's not necessarily stretched out. Hasn't pitched in a bit, so he has pitches to give. But you also have guys out of the bullpen that can do as good of a job as he can so far, as we've seen Bumjin Cho put together incredible starts. We've seen Carter Reisig put together incredible starts. And they're just going to need, if Brock Berry's able to get out of this thing, they're just going to need 3 innings out of one of those guys.
1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch that's fouled back by Solis. 1-2 is the count.
And you don't even really want to know what happens if one of those guys gets pushed to tomorrow and you have Alonsi Prasad, Cameron Meyer, and either Carter Reisig or Bumjin Cho.
1 ball and 2 strikes is the count. One and 2 to Solis. Berry delivers, grounded, fouled. Solis has done an admirable job to stay in the at-bat for Morgan County. One and 2 remains the count. Berry squares up to deliver. The 1-2 offering, swing and a miss, and a strikeout of Solis again. Jacob Solis has struck out for the 2nd time tonight. 1 away. Which brings aboard Rivers Freckleton. All this in a 12-4 game. Brock Berry up to 82 pitches in the contest. Here's delivery from Berry to Freckleton for strike 1. Yeah, have to wonder how long that leash is for Berry, especially in such a healthy juncture for Nebraska, in tight on Freckleton. 1 ball and 1 strike.
You got to imagine he's going to go until he says he doesn't want to go anymore. And then at that point, you give the ball to a guy that has a good argument for pitcher of the year as well, in either Carter Reisig or Bumjin Cho. I know Cho hasn't been here as long, but he has had incredible stuff, especially living in the zone as much as he has.
2-1 is the count after Berry's pitch missed. 85 pitches for Brock Berry, and this in the bottom half of the 6th inning.
And Carter Reisig's going to have that extra rest. We saw him with that extra rest last time have that velo crank up a little bit. We've seen it from Berry tonight, that velo cranking up. And when that's the case, these hitters are really going to struggle, because that's when they've had success against Reisig, is when he's a little bit overworked, so that velo's not going to be as high as he wants it to be. He's going to be living in the zone, in the heart of the zone, a little bit too much.
3-1 count. Popped up. First baseman McKernan trots and turns and is unable to make the catch. Overran it. After what was a long foul. Count runs full. One away. Again, fill up the park night on a Wednesday up in Gering. As we'll see game 2, and we may see the Front Range Championship awarded Wednesday night. And this leads to a walk of Rivers Freckleton. Well, in some regard, that's one that you wish you could have had back, where it was a pop-up. McKernan wasn't able to make the catch. Brings on Landon Calabrese. He had a double last appearance and ended up scoring. The only run that hasn't come via the home run for Morgan County. All this with one away. Barry up to 88 pitches, a throw over to first. Freckleton returns to the bag.
If you're Barry, you kind of got to know this is probably your last inning. If you're probably only going to get 3 innings out of one of those guys, but just trying to hand the ball and end your season as best of a note as you can. Obviously, he had a very successful summer here.
Ground ball from Calabrese. From short, Leslie throws over to first as Freckleton heads to second base.
And at this point, every out means so much. At this point, you don't want to start counting outs, but it is just 10 left now, and your deficit is at 8. And you want to try and get this run in from second, as this is, you're probably only going to see that top of the order one more time here.
But Percy Odell, who bats 6, grounded foul. With 2 away, with Rivers Freckleton at second base.
And it's really been the heart of the order that's done a lot of the damage here today. Obviously, Solis with the 3-run shot was majority of their runs today. But it's also been Bross has had a pretty good day. Calabrese has the double. No hits from Odell down so far, but fortunately we do live with the announcer jinx, so here comes that RBI single.
How about a rare balk that puts Freckleton at third? Here's the 0-1. On the ground from Odell. At third, Kingston Lee fires to first for the retirement of Percy Odell, and that retires the side. As we make our way into the 7th inning with our score, Nebraska 12, Morgan County 4.
There are builders, and then there are game changers. At Buildings by Design, they make the process simple. From small ag shops to large commercial builds, they can handle your project from start to finish, keeping things on schedule and on budget, all without ever compromising on quality. Experience you can trust, precision you can see, and quality you can stand on. Buildings by Design. Start your project today at buildingsbydesign.com. McDonald Toyota of Fort Morgan is part of the McDonald Automotive Group and has been serving Colorado since 1965. As your Toyota dealer in Fort Morgan, they have a wide selection of new Toyota models along with hundreds of quality pre-owned vehicles across the McDonald Automotive Group. They believe doing right comes naturally, and they treat customers with a personal attention that can be hard to find. Proud to be your local new car dealer, McDonald Toyota, off Exit 80 in Fort Morgan. Online at McDonaldToyotaFortMorgan.com.
Every business is different. Some move fast, and others take their time. But the one thing they all need, a trusted partner to help them grow. At Bank of Colorado, that's what Treasury Management is all about. Being by your side with smarter payment technology, admin tools, and protection from fraud. Request a no-obligation demo at bankofcolorado.com/demo. Bank of Colorado, there's only one. Member FDIC.
Projects don't wait, and now neither do you. Country Hardware in Wiggins is making it easier than ever to get the job done. From small repairs to major builds, they've got the tools, the lumber, and the expert advice you can count on. Right now, you'll find OSB, pickets, 2x4s, and 1x materials in stock. Order anytime at CountryDoItBestHardware.com. Choose same-day pickup or ship to store. Then click it, pick it, and get back to work. Country Hardware, 218 Main Street in Wiggins.
New pitcher for Morgan County in Silas Bauke. makes his way on the mound for the Wranglers, with Nebraska leading 12-4 as that brings on Seth Onestad as he's leading off for the first time in the game. Onestad 0 for 3 today. See what Silas Bauke is able to deliver with his new catching battery teammate in Cole Roth. But as we wind our way, as we look to stay intact for the rest of the postseason, see what Onestad can do. And it was that critical juncture in the first inning with Onestad able to put himself aboard after an error. And then soon after that, Tegan Maloney proved why it is his night. And I know with the way the media is done with the Front Range League is it's a strike delivered and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. That might be the first time in Front Range League history that the player of the game was awarded after the top half of the first.
It wasn't officially awarded until the solo home run. And obviously they still have to hold on to this game for him to be awarded that player of the game.
2 balls and 1 strike. Onestad puts one on the ground. Bross from short turns, fires to first. Calabrese with his foot on the peg. Out number 1. And now that brings on the vaunted top of the order for Nebraska.
Unfortunately, we will not see a home run cycle in this top half of the 7th inning. As
you were dreaming of it.
I had the honor to call the cycle earlier this year, and it was quite poetic the way that he was able to do it in sequential order.
Yes.
End it with the home run.
This is a high fly ball from Braden Basie that descends out of play. One that, boy, he is a role model for so many Outlaws, and certainly a great character for this league to have, great representative in the Front Range League, amidst a lot of great characters. Counted 0-2 on Basie as time is called. What a great job that Zach McCoy's done. Assistant coach at Susquehanna. Here's the 0-2. That's fouled out of play again by Basie. And again, his approach, he likes to put himself ahead in the count, and whenever he's not, he scraps his way, whatever it takes. Here's the 0-2. Delivery from Bauke upstairs for ball 1.
And each one of these guys at the top of the order is such a hard out to get, which makes starting the game so hard. We saw it again today, all 3 of them reaching.
Pop fly from Basie, and the catch is made by Mick Bross for out number 2. And now here comes Tegan Maloney. 3 for 4, 3 home runs, and 6 RBI. Set to face Silas Bauke for the first time. And a fastball delivered for ball 1 to Tegan Maloney.
And I hate to break it to anybody else in the Front Range League, but I fear he has the 2 best single game performances from a single player so far this season.
This one certainly adds his name into that list in that category. And 3 pitches, 3 balls from Silas Bauke.
Not a bad approach to take.
3-0 pitch to Tegan Maloney. And a 4-pitch walk. Tegan Maloney is aboard for that of Nebraska in the top half of the 7-2 away. Again, a 12-4 lead for Nebraska on Morgan County. Game 1, best of 3. Game 2, Wednesday night at 6:35. Swing and a miss from Leslie. 0-1 the count.
And I do like what I've seen out of this offense more today. you are scattering runs in throughout the game. You are scoring early, and you put up a big number early. But you're also able to score often throughout the game and kind of make sure you keep the Wranglers out of this one, because if they just put up those 9, you let the Wranglers get those 4 unanswered, this game does look a lot different.
1-1. That skips into the dirt. Two and 1 is the count. To Gideon Leslie. With Maloney at first base. Here's the 2-1. Off speed. Leads to a strike. 2-2 is the count. With 2 away. Bauke squares up to deliver the 2-2 pitch to Leslie. That causes him to duck Leslie. Tegan Maloney able to stroll to second base.
And how about this? Such great at-bats from Leslie today. This is the 3rd time he's seen a full count. And when you look at a guy like Maloney that's really attacking early and attacking those strikes over the middle of the plate, and then a guy right after that that's going to take a lot of pitches, it makes it really hard on you as a pitcher.
Payoff leads to a strikeout of Gideon Leslie, and that retires the side as we stretch midway through the 7th with our score in Game 1 of the Front Range Championship Series, Nebraska 12, Morgan County 4.
It pays to do business with Premier Farm Credit. While most businesses return their profits to outside investors, Premier Farm Credit believes in the importance of ag cooperative ownership. Premier Farm Credit believes it's important to put our profits in our customers' pockets. $7.25 million will be returned to our members in 2025. Swing into any of our Sterling, Yuma, Fort Morgan, or Holyoke locations and become a member today. Premier Farm Credit, the gold standard in ag lending.
When it comes to fixing your car, truck, or tractor, you don't want guesswork. You want the right part the first time. That's why locals trust Parts Smart CarQuest in Fort Morgan. Great people who actually know what they're doing. Great products you can count on. And great prices that keep you on budget. The team at PartSmart takes the time to get you exactly what you need. Chemistry's going to be PartSmart CarQuest. Great people, great products, great prices. East Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan.
As we welcome you back to Fort Morgan, Colorado, Danny Yabach joined alongside that of Bob Parsons and Alessi Rolando stepping in. But first, Bob, we take a look at the night for Brock Berry with having not seen an appearance in a long time. How about 6 brilliant innings of work?
And you got to tip his cap to him there. That home run by Solis probably just looks like a double back at Oregon Trail Park. That one just snuck over that center field fence. But 6 solid innings of work. You want to be attacking the zone, especially when you have the lead that he had going into this one. And that velo looked a lot better than it has at times this year, and that's something to hang your hat on going into that fall season for collegiate baseball.
If this is the final send-off, what a way to do it for Brock Berry. As we see Bumjin Cho make his way onto the mound. First pitch, high fly ball into left and down for a hit. As Dempsey is aboard for Morgan County to begin proceedings. And a great start for the Wranglers to start the inning.
I agree, that's a good start for us.
Great start out of the gate for Dempsey. How's that, Tim, as far as making an impact is concerned? With Dempsey, a deep drive. As we continue play, this leads to ball 1 delivered. As we continue our way, 1-0 is the count. So Dempsey aboard with the hit. Here's the 1-0. And this is upstairs, 2-0 the count.
And if you're Bumjin Cho, he's going to have a 3-pitch mix of that fastball, curveball, and the splitter. That curveball is going to have a little bit more horizontal movement, whereas that splitter is going to have a little bit more drop off the table movement of it. And when he starts landing that splitter for a strike, that's when he's going to start to having a lot of success.
And that he has been able to do as we see what's taking place. 3-0 is the count. As Cho delivers, that skips away. And a 4-pitch walk. As Cole Ruff is aboard for that of Morgan County.
And you got to wonder how long the leash is going to be for Cho here. He hasn't necessarily had success with these first two batters, and the question is going to be how far do you let him go here when you do have Reisig in your back pocket?
So with that, 2 base runners aboard. And this a grounder from Hoshi Yusei Cho and a collision with Kingston Lee, and everybody's safe and the bases are loaded. So that inopportune. So trouble instigated on that part with the bases loaded. From bad to worse. So Nick Griffin steps aboard. That's exactly who you don't want to see. If you are Bumjin Cho. So with that, bases loaded, nobody out. Is Cho already seeing difficulty? What's going in your mind if you are Cho being the relief pitcher?
You want to just try and get that first out. That's the biggest thing. That's what we've been emphasizing all night, especially if you're Outlaws pitching it. That's been the case all night. When you're coming in to that bottom of the first inning with the 9-run lead, it's just getting outs. That's the biggest thing that you can do as a pitcher. Dempsey is able to rush him a little bit there, hit that ball into the gap, get that leadoff single, but then Cho struggling there with the 4-pitch walk and really should have let his third baseman, I think, take that ball, try and give him the best opportunity to make that throw over to first base. But instead, here he is with the bases loaded, and this game can get really interesting really quick here.
As Nick Griffin steps aboard in a 12-4 game in the bottom half of the 7th. Griffin, who has had multiple grand slams this year, this is into the dirt for ball 1.
And it doesn't get any easier after this. You have Solis in the hole, who's already hit a home run tonight and led the league this season in home runs and was the MVP.
Here's the 1-0 awaiting for Griffin. Ball 2. Again, with Nebraska, they got the scoring taken care of early as they jumped out to a 9-0 lead. As Cho delivers a 2-0. Fly ball into left field. This near the wall and giddy up. Goodbye grand slam for Nick Griffin. His 3rd of the season. Nick Griffin goes deep again from a 12-4 game to 12-8. Second home run hit today for Morgan County. This time Griffin, Colorado native, goes deep. And hold everything here. It's a 12-8 game in the bottom half of the 7th. So Griffin goes yard, making it a 12-8 game. And for Bumjin Cho, the mystery continues, and the bat of Mick Bross, as far as offensively is concerned, not too shabby of an outing. See what Bross is able to do. In a 12-8 game, this missed outside for ball 1 for Bumjin Cho. Want to know the count. This in the air to right and caught. What a catch from Xander Martinez for the out.
And that's a much needed first out. You still have that 4-run lead. But you just need to start getting outs here. You got to wonder, maybe this is Cho's only inning and you're going to let Reisig take it the rest of the way.
As we see this time Jacob Solis. Want to know the count. As Cho squares up to deliver the 1-0 pitch. This elevated foul.
And this is a must out here if you're Cho. You got to stem this bleeding in this inning somehow. And this is the biggest bat to get out here. You left a pitch over the middle of the plate to Nick Griffin. That was a mistake. You can't let another one happen here.
This is a ground ball juggled by Lee, who turns, and safely aboard is Jacob Solis.
And again, these compound mistakes. The walk to Roth, the 4-pitch walk of that when you're leading by 8. Then the infield hit for Hoshi Yusei on the bunt. And then that leads into the mistake at the top of the zone for Nick Griffin. And then the mistake there by Kingston Lee. And this inning can get real out of hand real quick.
Here's Rivers Freckleton with one away. Swing and a miss on the first pitch that he sees. 0-1 the count. But an interesting case here. We've seen comebacks in the Front Range League before. This Morgan County team has done that at times. But we have yet to see double-digit run comeback. In the bottom half of the 7th, this is dished low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And you just got to find a way to get these last 2 outs as best you can, trying to limit that damage. Trying to see if you can get...
This is popped up and fouled. 1 ball and 2 strikes. With 1 away. So here's the 1-2 awaiting. Runner goes, and safely strolling in is Solis.
Now this is when you can start getting a little bit more aggressive on the base pass, because this run is going to mean a lot more than it maybe even earlier this inning. You're going to be able to be a little bit more aggressive in this closer game, because the difference between a 4-run game and a 3-run game is big.
Skipped in the dirt, and Solis digs for third, and he's safely there.
And you don't want to have too short of a leash on your guy. You want to try and trust your guy as much as you can, but when an inning's starting to get out of hand like this in a playoff game, you have to be able to go out there and be like, it's okay, it's not your day, but we got somebody behind you that's going to pick you up.
As the payoff awaits with Solis at third, the pitch. This is fouled. 12-8 game with a grand slam that was delivered by Nick Griffin in the bottom half of the 7th inning. In a 4-run game. So here is payoff pitch awaiting for Rivers Freckleton. Cho delivers, and that is a strikeout of Rivers Freckleton.
And a big strikeout at that. That's going to make this last out a lot easier to get to hopefully not score that run as well.
Brings on Landon Calabrese. So Calabrese steps aboard with 2 outs. Those watching online, we apologize for the technical difficulties. This is fouled out of play. So we look to resolve that as soon as possible. 0-1 the count.
What this does do for you is you will see the top of this order again in that 9th inning, if not earlier.
Here's the 0-1 to Calabrese. Cho delivers. That missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 is the count. Here's the 1-1. The pitch, that's into the dirt. 2-1 the count. 2 balls and 1 strike. As Calabrese looks to battle with 2 away. With Solis at third. Here's the 2-1 delivered by Cho. Popped up in the air. Second baseman in Martinez. He's under it and he makes the catch. And that retires the side. But it's the grand slam from Nick Griffin that has Morgan County right back in the game at 12-8 as we head to the 8th after this on the Front Range League Network.
No matter the project, Salisbury Supply in Fort Morgan has the parts to get it done. Their team makes the impossible possible, especially when it comes to tracking down those hard-to-find parts. The tougher the search, the more they deliver. Farm, industrial, and oil field supplies, plus a full line of welding supplies and welding gas. Trust Salisbury Supply. Power up your operation with a visit to Salisbury Supply, just south of the railroad tracks at 119 South Main Street in Fort Morgan.
You don't punch a clock. You punch through long days, uncertain weather, and early mornings most folks never see. You plant the seeds and keep going when everyone else is still asleep. So here's a simple thank you from Slip Spot Farm, Truck, and Auto. Here for you whenever the season calls. From tractor tires to discs, four-wheelers, and everything else, we'll get you set for the busy days ahead. Slick Spot Farm, Truck, and Auto in Fort Morgan and Ray.
Buying a new home should feel exciting, but let's be honest, it can get stressful fast. At Northern Colorado Title, they understand what's at stake during closing. Their team moves through each step with clear communication, careful attention, and dependable support when it matters most. From the first step to the final signature, they're focused on making the process simple. It's experienced guidance protecting one of life's biggest investments. Go where experience counts. Northern Colorado Title. Online at ncts.com.
When it comes to your next chapter, it helps to work with a bank that knows the neighborhood. That's FMS Bank. Whether you're buying your first place, building something new, or using a bridge loan to get you there, we're here to help.
With a full range of mortgage options, flexible new construction financing, cash out.
As we have been restricted to a radio call, we apologize for the technical difficulties. Again, we're looking to resolve that as soon as we can, but that of Xander Martinez.
And McKernan decides to join the hit party. Leslie and Onnested now the only 2 remaining without a hit, although Leslie does have 2 walks and Onnested did reach on that air back in the first inning.
And Bauke's slider drifted to the strike zone. 0-1 is the count. Rather 0-2. 12-8 game, Nebraska in front of Morgan County. This is sent fouled. Again, with how it was an adequate effort. Pitching on the mound as far as Brock Berry is concerned, the Bumjin Cho. Morgan County, they have scored their runs in bunches with 2 home runs. Here's a pop-up from Martinez. From third, Odell steps in and makes the catch for the out.
We good? Okay, thank you.
So, fly out to Odell. Brings in Isaiah Murillo again with Christian McKernan with the leadoff single at first base. We have 1 away in the top half of the 8th. And this slider that drifted outside on Silas Bauke, 1-0 the count. 1-0 awaiting for Isaiah Murillo. The pitch from Bauke. Hard ground ball. Bross snares, turns, throws to first. And in time for the out. Mick Bross from shortstop with the throw. 2 away. And that's exactly what you're looking for if you're Morgan County. With all the runs that have been scored in this game all across the grid, with 20 of them, which is 2 away from tying a playoff record for most runs in a playoff game. With 2 outs, this inside for ball 1.
And based off batting average today, Kingston Lee, and on base percentage, Kingston Lee is having the best day. He's already got an RBI, stolen base, 3 hits, hit by a pitch.
Here's the 1-0. This is sent foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and 1 to Kingston Lee, as he has done a tremendous job of putting himself on base. He fouls this one back. 1-2 the count.
We've seen the Outlaws have success with 2 outs so far today. Kingston Lee was a part of that with that RBI double back in the 4th inning with 2 outs. You're hoping he can get that run in from second base in the form of McKernan here.
Here's the 1-2 offering from Bauke. That's inside. Evens up the count. 2-2 to Kingston Lee. McKernan, the lead runner in second base. Bauke with the stretch, and the 2-2 offering to Kingston Lee is muscled foul.
A great at-bat here from Kingston Lee, fouling off pitches, battling for his team here. He's done it all today. One of those unsung heroes here at the bottom of the order. That 6 through 8, that 5 through 7 in this batting order has done so well today at muscling up that lead that they have now.
Here's the 2-2. Bauke delivers. That misses. Full count. For those of you watching online, our picture back up and running. Payoff pitch awaits for Kingston Lee. Silas Bauke set to deliver. Here is the payoff pitch on the way, and that's a walk.
Still has yet to be retired today in 5 at-bats. And this middle of the order has done it's done the dirty work. It's done the setup job. They're not getting necessarily the shine from the home runs by Tegan Maloney and all of that, but they are the reason that this team has the lead that it still does have. Because if it was just the top of the order, this game would be tied or they'd be down.
Well, this is a critical juncture in the game in many regards. For Morgan County, if you look to rally, this next out is critical. Inside, it hit him. Zach Turk is aboard of a hit by pitch. And the bases are loaded with 2 outs. And out comes Seth Onestad. This seems like deja vu all over again.
And one incredible country artist, Megan Maroney, has a whole song about giving somebody a taste of your own medicine, and the Outlaws are singing that in their heads right now. With the bases loaded, hoping to put this one out of reach here late.
Chase Taylor, who also serves as the pitching coach and was the starting pitcher tonight, he's out on the mound for a chat with Silas Bauke. Onestad, who might be batting in the 9th spot, but boy, his game speaks more than simply that 9th spot himself. Bases loaded with 2 outs, and you talk about what the story for Nebraska has been all season. Runs scored with 2 outs. This is a juncture, if you look to be one step closer to winning the Front Range Championship, this is your moment if you're Seth Onestad.
And I had a chance to talk to Seth after that grand slam in that first game. And he said they were here to make a statement. They were not necessarily the team that was viewed as highly as the Pioneers were in Gearing, Nebraska. They wanted to make a statement this season. If you want to make a statement right here, Seth Onstead, here is your moment.
He takes ball one from Bauke. And with Morgan County having shown some life, Nick Griffin with a grand slam. And the bottom of the 7th. Hard hit. What a catch by Percy Odell to leave them stranded. And that retires the side. Remember that play as we head to the bottom of the 8th with our score, Nebraska 12, Morgan County 8.
Some dealerships focus only on the sale. At Morgan County Motors, that's just the beginning. From routine oil changes and window tinting to dependable service that keeps you moving, our team is ready to help. Bought your vehicle somewhere else? No problem, because around here, service matters more than where you bought it. Morgan County Motors, your go-to dealership, your go-to shop. MorganCountyMotors.com.
When the world is falling apart because of war, oil prices, and fertilizer costs. When winter comes but forgets to snow, and spring doesn't even bother to spit on you as it passes by in a rush. When interest rates destroy your hope for the immediate future, and inflation sucks the joy out of your paycheck so you can't even enjoy a tasteless fast food burger without cringing, maybe it's time to invest in something that still delivers real value. Morton Buildings, a true American icon. Built tough, built right. Morton Buildings, 970-867-9454. Fuel your journey with something new from Corf CDJR in Fort Morgan. Proudly rooted in Northeast Colorado, Corf CDJR offers an impressive lineup just for you. Experience the defined luxury of Chrysler, the power and performance of Dodge or Ram, and the rugged capabilities of a Jeep. Their knowledgeable and local team provides an enhanced customer experience, all while maintaining the hometown values you've always trusted. Corf CDJR in Fort Morgan, 1221 Main Street, or Corf Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram FortMorgan.com.
Before we have the bottom half of the 8th, let's pause 10 seconds. Lair stations identify themselves on the Front Range Network.
Feels weird, but I'll allow
This
it.
is the kind of 80s music I like. I like a little bit more of like the rock.
Classic hits, 1400 KFTM.
Danny Bach, Bob Parsons in Game 1 of the Front Range Championship Series, best of 3. That sees Nebraska lead Morgan County 12-8. Bumjin Cho makes his way back on the mound after giving up a grand slam in the 7th. First pitch is a strike to that of Percy Odell.
And if you're Morgan County, you hold all the momentum right now. That incredible play to end the inning, that looked like that could have gotten out of hand real quick.
Towering fly ball into foul territory and caught for the out. Kingston Lee made the run in front of the bullpen for Nebraska. He's able to make the catch.
And typically on any other day, 3 for 3 with an RBI, a stolen base, great plays in the field, you're probably going home with player of the game.
Hey, well, tonight might be a different story, but we still have a long way to go. Memphis Dempsey got aboard with a hit in the 7th as he's quickly ahead in the count, 2-0. Rather, 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count in a 12-8 game. Memphis Dempsey, fresh out of high school, hits one in the air to right center field. This trailing towards the wall, and is it caught? Is it caught? Oh my heavens! Braden Basie with an incredible snag.
And that looked like that could have made this game a whole lot more interesting. And when you talk about momentum in this game, that's going to bring a lot of momentum your way. If you are the Outlaws, getting that big second out, a great play. And if you're Bumjin Cho, that's just only going to build confidence in your defense behind you.
How you're thinking about when top of the order appears. Here's Cole Roth for Morgan County. First pitch, strike 1. Morgan County with Yusei, and then in the hole, Griffin, Bras, Solis. You look at when you can make your rally if you are Morgan County. They made it a lot more interesting than it would have seemed midway through the first. It was 9-0 Nebraska. And then 10-0 after 2. For Jacob Solis had a 3-run home run. Hard hit and caught by Onestad. Incredible defense on the part of Nebraska retires the side. We head to the 9th with our score. Nebraska 12, Morgan County 8.
You've got miles to go on that summer road trip, but in the back seat, you've got some hangry passengers. Here's the easy fix. Make a stop at Stubbs, powered by Creed Fuels in Wiggins, for a road trip reset. Hot meals from the deli, morning, noon, or night. Plus, their convenience store is open 7 days a week, packed with the essentials for wherever you're headed, along with hunting and fishing licenses. Stretch your legs, reset the mood, and hit the road refreshed. Stubbs, powered by Creed Fuels, exit 66A in Wiggins.
When folks want to know more about what we do here at Rival Services, we first let them know that we are born and bred right here in Morgan County. We're the local experts who live here, built our business here, and we are not going anywhere. We offer production and lease operators, midstream valve maintenance, gate guard services, and portable toilets, and rental equipment such as light plants, generators, and heaters. Visit us online at rivalservices.net. We are Rival Services.
We begin the 9th inning from Fort Morgan, Colorado. Danny Bach joined alongside Bob Parsons in game number 1 in the best of 3 in the Front Range Championship Series. That sees Adam Abood hit on the mound for Morgan County, with his Wranglers trailing Nebraska 12-8. And for Abood, in this, his 3rd appearance in the Morgan County uniform, his first at home at Eddie Underwood Field. You talk about finding your way into familiarity. He is more familiar with Oregon Trail Park than he is with Eddie Underwood Field, of all things.
And this field is going to play much different. You're not going to want that ball being hit in the air if you're Abood here. And welcome to Eddie Underwood Field, where you're going to be facing Braden Basie, Tegan Melody, and Gideon Leslie. And those 2 and 3, they have 4 home runs over the past 2 games.
And Abood with a tough task up ahead. But the story for him, as he was a part of the pitching staff for Coalinga College with manager T.C. Fairfield. But this is so critical if you're Morgan County and Adam Abood. You made your way here roughly a week and a half ago. First outing was an exhibition, had 5 walks in the game, and he noted some words that were mentioned on the broadcast. The walks have got to improve. And how do you respond? No walks in his 2nd outing. But now he has to go up against a vaunted unit for Nebraska that is inching ever so closer to being a 1 win away from winning a league championship. But he has to contend against that of Braden Basie. 2 for 5 today for Nebraska. Abood with the submarine pitch, in for a strike.
And it should be interesting to see how he's going to attack Basie as compared to the lefty of Maloney. He's got to be really careful. Lefties tend to hit these righty submariners better than those righties will, because that pitch looks like it's going to be coming inside right at you, and then it ends up in the strike zone.
0-2 is the count to Braden Basie. And with Tegan Maloney, lefty on deck, submarined wide and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Braden Basie. You learn so much from someone that gives that to the game in Braden Basie as he fouls 1 out of play. And top of the 9th, a 12-8 lead for Nebraska as they look to build on their lead on Morgan County. Here's the 1-2 offering to Braden Basie. This is fouled away, and it's no surprise how much Basie battles in the count.
quality at bats at the top of this order is why they're at where they're at right now. Again, those 1 through 3 and then 5 through 7 have really been carrying the boats today.
Here's the 1-2 offering, and ball 2 taken. As Basie looks to begin against the top part of the order for Nebraska. The 2-2 pitch, that's sailed up high, full count.
Last thing you want is a guy like Basie on base, especially with the long windup that Abboud does have here. You don't want him getting into scoring position because every run is just another hammer of that nail into the coffin of these Wranglers for tonight.
Here's the payoff and a walk, which brings on the left-hander Tegan Maloney. A 3-home run night as we see some rain that starts to fall. Something that was far from what was expected. As it begins to moderately drizzle. The pitch from Abboud. Upstairs, 1-0 the count.
He's going to need to be really careful here. We saw the last time Maloney was up, did not see a single strike.
Here's the 1-0. Runner goes. Throw to second from Roth. And safely there is Basie. Another stolen base for Nebraska.
And what an incredible effort by Cole Roth. I can't say enough about how impressive that arm is behind the plate. And Basie shows off his stolen base prowess as well. Led the league in so many categories this year. Stolen bases is one of them.
Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike for Adam Abboud on Tegan Maloney. He took a swing. And the off-speed pitch pays massive dividends with a strike. As Abboud readies himself with Basie at second. The pitch from Abboud, grounded foul. What's impressed you about Abboud in this at-bat, especially against Maloney?
He's done a good job at not missing anything over the heart of the plate so far. And again, this is a bat that you don't want to do that to.
The pitch, that's veered outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tegan Maloney had 2 home runs in the first inning alone. And then he added another for Nebraska. That taking place in the 5th inning. The 2-2. That missed. Full count.
And he's lost both of these batters to a full count here. He hasn't lost the at-bat yet to Tegan Maloney, but he lost that first at-bat to Braden Basie. You'd like to not do that again. If you have a batter at 2 strikes, especially one of these good hitters in a favorable count, a 1-2 count, you want to try and get them out as best you can.
Here's the payoff. Abboud delivers. Fouled back out of play.
Because, of course, Tegan Maloney and Braden Basie are going to put up a quality at bat here, especially in a clutch scenario where you're trying to add on, trying to give your pitching staff and Bum Jin Cho likely as good of an insurance as possible.
Payoff pitch awaiting for Tegan Maloney, elevated in the air into foul territory, and this goes foul.
We're going to see both tops of the order up here in the 9th inning. We'll see if one can outduel the other here. It's going to be 9-1-2 on the other side. It's 1-2-3 in this inning. Basie has already reached and is now on second. Seen him produce runs all year.
The payoff pitch, and garnering enough was Maloney to stay alive. So again, the payoff, a 12-8 lead for Nebraska and Morgan County in the top half of the 9th in Game 1 of the championship series. Here's the payoff pitch awaiting from Abboud. And a walk. Tegan Maloney is aboard again, as that brings on Gideon Leslie.
And we've seen impressive stat lines from Tegan Maloney all year. Has 3 home runs, 2 walks. Just that lone strikeout, the only blemish on his scorecard tonight. And if you're Gideon Leslie, you got a prime opportunity here. Good speed on first and second.
Basie at second, Maloney at first. Leslie takes strike 1. Again, with nobody out in the top half of the 9th. As rain is tapered in Gehring. Runners go, throw by Roth to third, and safely there is Braden Basie, and the team that are the kingpins of stolen bases have done it again. Runners at third at second.
That is such a huge double steal there. You take away the force out, you're likely going to make the infield play in, although it doesn't look like they're going to do that here.
Another pitch from Leslie. That missed, 1 ball and 1 strike.
But that simplifies your approach so much if you're getting Leslie here. You now have a runner at third with nobody out. That run is going to become paramount to try and hold in if you're the Wranglers, and it's going to become really simple if you're getting in Leslie.
The 1-1, hard hit, fouled away.
And you're really just looking to put a ball in play here. Preferably not to those corners. But if you can put a ball in play and find a pitch to elevate and at least hit out to where those outfielders at so they're not able to move in on it.
This decks Leslie, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. So a hit by pitch that puts Gideon Leslie at first, and the bases are loaded for Christian McKernan.
I'm a little surprised to not see the infield playing in here. I don't know if they're going to do that now with the bases loaded, but that 5th run is so big.
Is it ever? As Adam Abood has encountered difficulty. And it's also tough to adjust with your first game and a new ballpark. Certainly the dimensions much different than that of Oregon Trail Park. The site of Game 2, and if necessary, Game 3. Game 2 on a Wednesday, Game 3, if necessary, on Thursday night. Bases loaded for Christian McKernan. This a slow roller that ends up going foul, much to the relief of Adam Abood.
We've seen McKernan go out to that short fence out in center. And if you're McKernan, that can't be on your mind. You want to try and find a pitch to elevate and drive, but you can't be thinking grand slam here. You want to try and at least score 1, if not 2 of those runs.
The 0-1 to Christian McKernan as Abood calls for time.
With that infield now playing in, they're going to try and go home first, try and get that lead runner, and try and turn that double play if they can.
The 0-1. Muscled and caught by Calabrese. The throw to third. Basie is caught. And a double play. As Basie wasn't able to tag up. So a double play ensues. So Basie forgets to tag up, and all of a sudden the picture has shifted dramatically for Adam Abood. Tegan Maloney remains at second base. Leslie at first with 2 away. Ground a ball from Martinez. Abood loses his hat, tosses over to first. That retires the side. We head to the bottom of the 9th as Morgan County looks to rally, down 12-8.
Is there anything worse than paying for something that's done half-assed? You buy something, you want it to work, especially when it comes to your internet. When you're trying to stream a movie, work from home, or shop online, half-assed internet doesn't get it done. At Allo Fiber, we don't do anything half-assed. We offer 100% real fiber and real human support that serves the community from the community. So while others may say they have fiber, in the end, there's half-assed fiber, and then there's Allo Fiber. Allo Fiber, internet built for you.
Bubba.
Ever open your car door and feel like you've just unlocked a personal rotisserie? You're the chicken, the sun is the chef, and your steering wheel is now a cast iron skillet. Shine On Automotive can stop the madness with ceramic window tint. It blocks 90% of infrared heat, keeps your interior cool, and saves your AC from working overtime. Stop roasting. Start relaxing. Shine On Automotive. 429 North 3rd Street in Sterling.
When the job calls for quality, don't settle for second best. At University Farm Fleet and Auto in Fort Morgan, your local Napa Auto Parts store is stocked with trusted tools and equipment built to work as hard as you do. From hand tools and power tools to shop essentials and heavy-duty gear, they've got the brands pros trust and the performance you expect. Get the tools that get it done right.
Napa know-how.
University Farm Fleet and Auto in Fort Morgan, your local Napa store.
Welcome back to the Underwood Field in Fort Morgan, Colorado for the bottom of the ninth. Danny Bach joined alongside Bob Parsons and a new pitcher for Nebraska in Carter Reisig as he looks to send Nebraska one game away from a Front Range League championship.
And he showed higher velo in that last appearance. Gotta imagine, bottom of the ninth inning here in a playoff game, that velo is still gonna be there. After he hasn't been worked as much or asked to work as much as he has at the start of the season.
He faces 9-1-2 to begin. Hoshi Yusei, who has tended to be at that top part of the order, batting ninth, takes the first pitch strike from Reisig.
And that you want that niner to be that second leadoff. You want a guy in the 9 hole that can flip that to the top of the order.
Here's the 0-1. That veered away from Reisig. Evens up the count at 1-1 strike. Again, game 2, Wednesday night at 6:35 from Oregon Trail Park. The 1-1 pitch from Reisig. That finds the strike zone as well. 1-2.
And the biggest thing here is getting that first out. Getting that 9-hole hitter out before you face the top of the order. Griffin has shown what he can do already today.
The 1-2 pitch and a strikeout of Hoshi Yusei.
And that velo's there. I think we can say after that first at bat, that velo is still there. He's going to be in the mid to upper 80s here. And it's going to look even hotter. It's going to look almost like a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, especially when that off-speed is working as well.
So here's Nick Griffin, had a grand slam in the bottom of the 7th and put Morgan County within range. But the score remains the same at 12-8. Reisig delivers. Look at the velo on that pitch. Strike 1.
Yeah, and when he's able to land that off speed for a strike, it's going to be real tough out there if you're Nick Griffin. He's got the hit tool to do it, but that fastball is going to look even hotter.
He's got an Instagram lifting page, too, and he lifts one in the air fouled. 0-2 the count. But Carter Reisig with the 0-2 pitch to Nick Griffin. As he overlooks the scene. Reisig with the stretch and the 0-2 pitch to Griffin. Strike 3 looking.
And it's so tough when both those pitchers are working off of each other, and he just froze him.
That was an absolute dot from Carter Reisig. Brings on Morgan County down to their final out with Mick Bross. Carter Reisig, the 8th pitch of the inning. Check swing. Strike 1. It ends up being a foul ball. 0-1 to Mick Bross. Reisig garners the sign. Here's the 0-1 pitch on the way. That skipped into the dirt. 1-1 strike.
And you really want to try and simplify the approach here. You'd like to not face Solis, but you've already done the hardest part, which is getting those first 2 outs. which means you're going to need to be near effortless if you want to get out of this game with a win if you're Morgan County.
Strike 2 looking on Bross. 1-2 the count with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Reisig delivers, swing and a miss. It went foul. Foul tip by the slimmest of margins for Mick Bross. So again, the 1-2.
Gotta imagine he's gonna go off speed off that fastball right here.
The 1-2, swing and a miss, a strikeout of Mick Bross, and Nebraska has come into Fort Morgan and has stolen game number 1 of the best of 3 series on Morgan County. They win it 12-8, and they have a chance in their first year of existence to win a Front Range championship. Wednesday night, start time at 6:35. We'll be with you on the Front Range Network. But it's Nebraska that jumped out to a 9-run first inning, and that was all the scoring they needed. As it was Tegan Maloney with a 3-home run night, paving the way for the Nebraska victory. What a performance from the Nebraska Outlaws on the road in Game 1.
What an incredible performance, and offensively as well, and not giving in to those Wranglers that really did try and scrap and claw their way back into this one. Credit to them as well. But Carter Reisig just coming in and blowing the doors off these Wranglers. And if you're the Wranglers, you better count your lucky stars that it was just that one inning from Reisig, because he looked incredible in that first inning, striking out all 3 batters he faced.
An incredible way to shut the door as far as Nebraska is concerned, and then the attention focuses to game number 2, day off tomorrow, and then on Wednesday, the 2 teams battle again. Morgan County closes out their season at home at Eddie Underwood Field and at Sunset Park. But a lot of the excitement up in Gering, Nebraska for game number 2. And with the Outlaws a chance to win it in front of the home crowd, what an atmosphere it should be on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, Phillip Park, it should be a fun time there at Oregon Trail Park Stadium in Gering. And there's no better feeling than winning in front of your home crowd. It's fun to do it on the road. It's fun to silence a crowd or two. But winning it at home, the fans are why you do it. It's to hear the cheers, get to sign autographs with the kids there in Gering. And there's no better crowd to do it in front of here in the Front Range League than that crowd back in Gering, Nebraska.
Again, first pitch at 6:35. The pregame show starts at 6:20 on a Wednesday night. And if necessary, game 3, same start time, same channel. We'll be with you on a Wednesday night where the Morgan County Wranglers and Nebraska Outlaws contend for game 2 of the best of 3 in the Front Range Championship Series. But that's all the time that we have for tonight's broadcast. Special thank you to everyone who makes this broadcast possible. For our producers in Doug and Braxton Erickson, and for Bob Parsons, I'm Danny Box saying so long and take care, and thanks for being with us. Your final score in Game 1 of the Front Range Championship Series, Nebraska Outlaws 12, Morgan County Wranglers 8. This is the Front Range League Network.
You've been listening to Morgan County Wrangler Baseball on Hometown Radio KFTM and the Medialogic Sports Network. Tonight's exclusive play-by-play broadcast was brought to you by Stubbs Gas and Oil, powered by Creed Fuels, Rival Services, Allo Communications, University Napa, The Taylor Agency, Big Johnson Construction, Shine On Automotive, The Block, Les Schwab Tires, and Bodorn Lumber. Wranglers Baseball on Hometown Radio KFTM was also brought to you by Pepsi, Morgan County Tourism, Morgan Community College, Far Corner, Pioneer Distributing, Kinsale Properties, 21st Century Equipment, Star Athletic Club, Cargill, and Edwards Right Price Market. Stay tuned for more Wranglers Baseball.